All right. Yes.
Hello. So I want to go ahead and thank you guys for calling in today. Today we're going to have on, you got a collect call from, we're going to be on with Jesse and David. They're going to go ahead and spend another Sunday with us. And today is obviously Christmas Eve. I want to go ahead and thank our listeners and both of these gentlemen here. A merry early Christmas and a happy New Year. And with that, I'll go ahead and hand it on over to you guys.
Yep. So yeah, this is David.
This is Jesse.
Yeah, we just want to thank wish you guys also happy holidays.
Yep. Thank everybody for chiming in with us on this day. I know you guys could be doing something else with your time, so I definitely appreciate the support. I want to send a special shout out to my man ICEMAN for all the support, you know, for being there and reaching out, and I know he's been a dedicated listener since we kicked the channel off, and I appreciate it, all his words of encouragement, you know, any time and any effort he puts into us, I appreciate it, and I understand his struggle the same way he understands ours, so it's absolutely a good thing right there, and anybody else who's been committed to the channel and who's helped us, you know, keep it moving, you know. And again, happy holidays to all you guys that are actually listening, and hopefully you guys are able to eat some good food tonight and spend some time with your family, and you know everybody gets what they were looking for. And you know tomorrow's a new day. We're getting ready to start a new year. You know, so I wish everybody the best.
Yeah, and you know, to second what Jesse said, yeah, man, shout out to Elias, man. He's been very encouraging, you know, over the past week or so, and even since we've been on this podcast. I think we've been on for probably over a month now, maybe 2 months. You know, time goes kind of quick. And at this time, I also want to highlight, because we wanted to talk about what holidays look like in prison. And we want to emphasize just basically, look, as we sit here, me and Jesse, we sit here, we represent two families that are without loved ones right now. But I also want to shed the light on two other families that are without their loved ones right now because of decisions that we made. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. David's 100% right. You know, everything we do today in our life of recovery and you know, in this walk to redemption, is we do this to honor, you know, the lives that we've taken. You know, innocent lives, people that didn't deserve, you know, what we brought to them. So he's absolutely right. You know, I definitely want to honor the Gutierrez family and Mr. Bernardo Gutierrez, you know, because I murdered him in cold blood, and he did not deserve that. It was of no fault of his own, and I know it brings no comfort to his family, you know, knowing that we have this opportunity to be able to do something like this. But like I said, if in any way, shape, or form I can utilize my experiences and my words and you know, my example to help anybody, to prevent somebody from making the same horrible choices that I made when I was a teenager, you know, and murdering their family member, I hope they can at least understand that, you know. But again, I have no expectations of them because, like I said, they're sitting at home, you know, maybe celebrating their holidays right now, and there's an empty seat at their table, or there isn't any presents underneath the tree for you know, their loved one because of my horrible choices, you know. And so I just want to make sure that I definitely send a shout out to that family and let everybody know that what I do and the life I live today, it is to honor the opportunities and the, you know, these special moments that he should be spending with his family, you know. And again, my family was also made victims to my horrible choices because my kids are out there celebrating their holidays without me. My siblings are out there spending their holidays without me, you know. And as much as we don't think that we are a part of the families that we live in because we've chose such a horrible path, absolutely, we're still their family, you know, and we should be there, and more so now than ever before, you know. So Dave's 100% right. There's you know, there's many families affected by what we've done and the choice we've done, but I definitely just want to, you know, give it up for the 4 families that are immediately affected by us being here, you know.
Yeah, that's that what you said pretty much touches on the point. Go ahead, James.
Yeah. So sorry, my apologies. I totally forgot that. So today we're gonna be actually offering taking in live calls. So I have taken the time to post that number up on the chat there. And if you think about any questions or you just want to call in and make a comment, feel free to do so. It is a local number to Los Angeles, so feel free to call in. Also, if you do plan on calling in, I just ask that when you call in, please don't have us on speaker. We're trying to get the best audio quality available, and if you put us on speaker, the audio might be a bit muffled or distorted. And the second thing would be, please either stop the live stream that you're currently hearing, and do this before calling in, or put the volume down, because if not, we'll get audio feedback on our end, or a delay, and it's not gonna sound right. So if you could go ahead and do those two things before calling in, we would really appreciate it. All right, now my apologies. I should have said that when we originally jumped on, but I went blank. I have all these thoughts, and then when it comes down to the moment, I'm just a blank canvas.
And third, real quick, we're open to any criticism. We're open to any advice, any questions, any.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
But let's do our best to try to be respectful, because I know with this new avenue of engagement, I know there may be some people that might have plenty of free time on their hands and may decide to call in here for like the P line, like the party line,
for the wrong reasons.
For the wrong reasons. And like I said, hey, to each their own. I just ask that you please try to keep things respectful. I'm well aware how all kinds of people may feel about this, or feel about me, or feel about us, or just the whole situation as a whole. You know what I mean? So if I don't need anybody to tell me what it is, you keep. If you're not calling in to be respectful or to contribute to what it is, the mission statement that we have here, then hang on to that. But again, like I said, if you're calling in to give some criticism because you heard something that you may think that I could use some enlightenment to, or Dave can use some enlightenment in, feel free. Absolutely. I'm all for, taking responsibility and being held accountable, and I'm all for, any constructive criticism. I'm not that fragile. But I definitely don't want people calling in talking shit and just giving us a hard time, or wolfing or any of that. We're not on here to gangbang or have any political debates online,
Yeah. Yeah, that's he touched on that too. And at the end of the day, Jesse and I, we're not the victims here. We're in prison because of decisions that we made. Like Jesse said, we both murdered somebody, and there's 2 empty seats at the table in that regard. So we're mindful of that. The things that we talk about as far as what we experience in prison on the holidays, on Christmas, or what any other holidays like New Year's, it's just basically just to shed some light on what it's like in prison, to hopefully encourage people to stay out of here.
Yeah. Some people listen to this because they have family members that have been here, and some people want to try to find some connection.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Or try to understand what it is that they've gone through, or why it is. A lot of people end up doing life on the installment plan. They come in and they come out, back and forth, and some family members cannot understand how this is possible, how somebody can keep subjecting themselves to that. And so, I think why we do some of this too is to give them a little insight. Like the topic for today is holidays in prison. To kind of give them a little idea of what their loved one may have been experiencing while they were sitting here, and to give society an idea of how we may deal with it, and ultimately at the end of the conversation to transition into next week's topic, because spending holidays in prison is absolutely adverse on the mental health of a lot of people,
Yeah, and the crazy part is this is holidays in prison. What we're doing right now, we're sitting in the cell. This is basically what it consists of. This morning we had some yard. We got to get into a softball game. My cellie was out there to visit. But the fact of the matter is holidays in prison mostly represent isolation, lockdowns because of staff shortages. And I'm sure they don't want it that way. I'm sure that the administration and whatnot, because they're progressing and change and stuff. But fact of the matter is staff call in sick just like any other workplace, and we're in the cells because of it. They can't have us out there if they don't have enough officers to maintain control. So at 12:30 today, they were supposed to release the afternoon program, and that was canceled. That was cut short. So this is what a lot of it looks like. Sitting in the cell.
Yeah, and prior to living life in recovery, holidays in prison, truth be told, were just another excuse to use drugs, to drink, to hang out with the fellas and act like a fool. And like David said, a lot of the times you made sure you got your drugs, you got your alcohol, you got your bullshit, whatever you did before the day of, because the reality is you knew that there was normally going to be no program, because a lot of staff call off because they want to be spending time with their family, as they should be, and so you expect that, and so for a lot of people, that, if they're not accustomed to spending, holidays in their cell, a time that even for the roughest of individuals, you can't help but to sit back and wonder, what is my family doing right now? What are my kids doing right now? What is happening? So it tends to weigh heavy on a lot of people's hearts, And I know for me personally, when holidays came around, I dove extra hard into my habit, because the reality is I wanted to escape that. I wanted to escape the reality that my girls and my son, everybody was out there, growing up without me and spending these special times together, that I was missing these milestones in their life, and so it was just a time for me to get, extra fucked up, and so now it's different, Now the holidays, it's like it's a time for the fellas to get together, like my Sally said, get out there and get a softball tournament together, cook some food, get some shit cracking,
Let me ask you this, Jess. Do you notice that during the holidays everybody seems like there's more camaraderie amongst everybody here? Like, you see that the guys on the yard, people walk in the yard and they look hella hard. Everybody's got tattoos and, worked out dudes and stuff like that. But, during the holidays, does it seem to you like there's a lot more people that are just kind of like just getting along, or they want to,
Oh, absolutely. It's a two-sided coin. You know how it's been on the level 4s and the 180s during the holidays. It seems like sometimes the tension is extra thick because everybody's wearing their emotions rough because it's that time of year, However, absolutely, to answer your question, there is a lot of camaraderie during the holidays, because you got to remember, for most of us, this has been our family, this has been our life, this is what it is. So when the holiday comes around, it's like, hey, I'm trying to be festive, I'm trying to spend time with my boys, I'm trying, trying to feel a little bit of the joy. Basically, the reality is, though, I think it's an effort to escape the darkness that's really going on inside our heart, and the depression that's really going on. It's kind of a mask.
Yeah, what I seen on the yard, it seems like people double down on whatever they're doing. It's like amplified on the holidays. The Dolphins, they're going to Dolphin hard. We're going to see some of them dudes, and they all kind of congregate together, and this is when they're going to put in their it's like Christmas shopping, kind of late in the year. They're going to pull out all the stops, man. They're going to look for schemes, scams, whatever they can to get their shit. They got to.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and it seems like the programmers, we're all going to come together and we're going to play softball extra hard. The workout guys are going to be on them bars. They're going to do a little bit more pull-ups and push-ups.
Yep, everybody's getting together, trying to get all their food together for whatever chefs are going to be putting together the meal for tomorrow.
The fat boys are going to eat. All right. All right, James, I'm going to call back right now.
All right, sounds good. We'll be here waiting for you guys. All right, so their 15 minutes was coming up short. So they're going to go ahead and give us a call back. And for those of you that are just tuning in right now, we have Jesse and David. And this is going to be, we were talking about it last week, and we're going to try to, do one of these every Sunday. And today we're doing a little bit different. Today we're actually offering the opportunity for you guys to call in and ask these gentlemen these questions, any questions you have or any comments that you want to go ahead and make. And I did drop that number on the chat there. It is a local number, so it's a free call. All right, and here we go.
This call is now being recorded.
Link, you have a prepaid call from
David Lopez.
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
All right, so I want to go ahead and give out shout outs right now to the people that are currently on the chat, participating in the chat. So first person that came in was LastChanceHomie, and he puts Cuvo Gente.
Cuvo, yeah.
That's right, Cuvo.
Yeah, we remember him. That's cool.
And then he also put, go ahead.
No, I like Last Chance Homie because he comes raw. I like that.
We talked about him a little bit last time after we got off. We're like, yeah, he just tells it how it is.
Yeah.
Go ahead, things.
All right, and then he also puts Feliz Navidad to all. And we also got somebody in here that I haven't seen in quite some, I would say like at least a month or so. We got LA Analyst, and they put Merry Christmas.
Hey, low-key, palabra, as soon as you said that, we got somebody in here we haven't seen for a while. That was the first one I thought. I was going to say it out loud, too, LA Analyst, because LA Analyst had been on there pretty committed in the beginning, but we hadn't heard nothing from LA Analyst. But that's cool. Glad to have him back. I think isn't it a chick? It's a Haina.
I think it is. I think, yeah. I mean, it's either LA Analyst or La Analyst, so I'm not sure. I'm assuming it's a chick.
Yeah, well, either way, man or woman, we're happy to have them back, and it's cool that they found their way back to the channel, and because I know they were there with us from the beginning, and so it's cool that they made the choice to come spend Christmas Eve with us, and I definitely appreciate that,
That's right. Yeah, likewise. And then we also got another. It's a she. Or maybe a she. I'm not sure. They put on here. I'm a female. So yeah, they went ahead and clarified on that. And then we got we got a comment from LastChanceHomie, and he put I challenge all not to use any profanity when speaking, not because I am now soft now, because of the respect to our last chance at life.
Hey, I'm gonna give it my all. I'm gonna take that challenge for this podcast, and I'm gonna do my best. I cuss like a sailor.
Yeah.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
The crazy thing about that is I have that same conversation with people all the time, because a long time ago, I actually had an actual prison gang member tell me that, and him and I actually went into a committed challenge. We said, look, man, we're going to stop cursing. He didn't curse, right? So he told me, look, man, people that curse, they curse out of ignorance because they're filling that void. They're filling that spot, buying themselves time to construct a word to put in there. He said, so if you can ultimately find it in yourself not to curse, it's because you're filled up your toolbox with words, And so it kind of like tripped me out. It took us a few months. And what we did is every time anyone of us said a cuss word, he hardly ever said them. So he kind of had me by from the get-go. But I would have to pay him $5, So that gets pretty expensive pretty quick. I mean, so trust and believe. I had definitely stopped cussing for a long time. So absolutely, I agree with them. For one, it just cursing sounds ignorant, you know what I mean? And sometimes we have a tendency of getting comfortable in our conversation, because you wouldn't go into a job interview, you wouldn't go into a church, you wouldn't go in front of a bunch of youngsters. I wouldn't go in front of my own mother and talk like that. So I definitely accept that challenge,
Yeah. I mean, Jesse and I, we've both been around people too that kind of, they encourage that, and it was really just like kind of like when people like that encourage you to not use profanity, they're basically like, they're not asking, they're kind of telling you.
Yeah.
You have to kind of pick up on that and be mindful. They're like, look, man, that's gonna stop it. But they understand how we are. We grew up like kind of wild, like baby's kids. So we're cussing from a young age and stuff like that. So yeah, now we're gonna go ahead and I know I'm gonna accept that challenge. I'm gonna do my best on this podcast not to say.
And I got one more comment. Go ahead, and then I'll throw the last comment.
No, that's it.
Okay.
Go ahead. No, I was just gonna say it just boils down to emotions. As long as you can keep your emotion in check, you can buy yourself enough time to fill that void with an actual word of meaning versus a curse word.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, and then the last comment I got from here is from ICEMAN, and he puts, "Hello, ICEMAN tapping in. Bro, David is the clock monitor. He never misses the 60-second mark."
Hey, I am the clock monitor. That's what I'm saying. Jesse has no regard for the 60 seconds, but I'm here.
I pay no mind. I'm gone in 60 seconds.
And then I got my daughter right here. She wants to tell you guys something. Diles, mama.
Merry Christmas.
Oh,
that's right, Mija. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you.
Yep. There's no way we're cussing now. There's no way.
All right.
That's right.
Gracias, mama.
Definitely.
Yep, thank you. Yeah, and the thing is that's what it's all about, is family, man. You know, and we were blind to that for a long time, you know.
Yeah, man, it's definitely I can't say, you know, like you know, obviously, I mean, I didn't do I haven't done any prison time at all, but you know, I did have my little, you know, month here, month there, county lids and whatnot, and I definitely missed out on my youngest daughter's, you know, life. So I can definitely relate to a certain point, and this is my third daughter. This is my youngest one, and the way we're raising her, it's a lot different than my other daughters, you know, because I'm here, you know, like I'm in the home. I live together with my wife, so I'm definitely, you know, savoring the moment and not making the same mistakes that I was making when I was a teen or in my early 20s.
No, and the crazy part is a lot of people do get it right on the third track. You know, so yeah, I bet your daughter, she's gonna grow up to be an astronaut or something. The third one.
Hopefully. I mean, the first one, she was in the military. She was in the army, and she just honorably discharged like back in June, and she's actually retired already. She's 26, and then I have a 19-year-old.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then I have a 19-year-old that's currently in college right now. So you know, she's on her path, you know, to greatness. And then we got the younger one, and she definitely, you know, lightens up the house around, you know, because me and my wife are always having conversations like, man, the house would be really quiet if she wasn't here. So she brings this joy that I can't even describe.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool, James, and you can hear it, man. You know, whatever you went through before that led you into these types of walls, man. You know, it sounds like you figured it out, you know, before it got too late, you know, because we had the opportunity to do that also. Like, I know Jesse came in young on his first term, and he picked up life on his first term, but he was in the system when he was younger, and he knew what he was doing, and that's why I'm saying that we're not the victims here. I knew what I was doing. I had opportunities to go home and stuff like that, and with that in mind, I chose to continue on the path that I was living, you know, and this is what happens. You figured it out, and you pulled out of it, you know. And it's just a learning experience. There's a lot of people that experience incarceration in the United States. I seen the number. It was like millions of people, man. It blew my mind.
And you know what?
I
had a conversation before with Jesse, and he kind of asked me, you know, like what was what was a pivotal point in my life that, you know, made me decide, you know, to change my life around. And you know what? It was a lot of different things that, you know, I've been thinking about it like that last either month or two about that question, you know, to try to figure out what is it that, what moment I decided that I didn't want to continue, you know, to keep on getting incarcerated. And you know what? It's many things. It just wasn't one thing. But I think one of the biggest one was I wasn't built for prison. I would have to say the number one reason I didn't continue down the path. And you know, when you're incarcerated, you see like a lot of dudes, you know, that have really great support, you know, whether it's from females, their families and whatnot. And I didn't have that type of support. So, you know, when I was up in county, I didn't have anybody putting, you know, money in my books, you know, to, you know, buy a soup or deodorant or whatever. So I was definitely, you know, rough timing it. And you would see other dudes that would have bags.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
You know, they would have bags of food. They would, you know, get visits both days for visitation days. They would always be on the phone. And my experience was totally different. I didn't have any of that. And then I also noticed that all the favoritism. If you weren't connected, then you were down at the bottom. So and another thing was you know, like the separation. You know, like them telling you know who you could talk to, who you can't talk to, and like little things. You know, you're always getting judged. I remember there was this one dude that would wake up in the morning. And they would get on his helmet if he didn't brush his teeth, as if the first thing he did, you know, dude would get up, he would use the restroom, but then he would go back to sleep. He wouldn't get breakfast, and they would be on his helmet, you know, about him not brushing.
For sure.
So it's little things like that, you know.
But don't you?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, isn't it ironic? Because I've told other people that before, right? About like, it's ironic how we're in prison because we can't follow laws, laws that are for the most part put there in play to protect us, put there in play to make society a better place for not just us but everybody as a whole, and I don't 100% agree with all laws, but they're there for a reason. They're there to benefit somebody, they're there to protect somebody's interest. And so it's ironic that we're in here because we can't follow those laws, right? And truth be told, most of those laws don't adversely affect us in any way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? But the reality of it is we come into prison and we're following rule after rule after rule, and we're playing for life and death. Yeah. We're playing these crazy-ass games, and it's like if we could have just followed simple laws out there, we wouldn't be in here following rules for our life.
The crazy part is, like, I've actually had to, like, write and rewrite, we call them reglas, the rules. And it's usually there's so many rules that we put on ourselves that the reglas are actually sometimes double-paged. We'll write them out. I mean, we want it in detail, and it's just a paper. As soon as you're a new arrival, someone like you, James, if you came into the system and me and Jesse were right there and we're sitting on our freaking high horse, and boom, we're gonna pull you to the side. We're gonna find out why you're there. We're gonna make you feel very uncomfortable, and the first question that we're probably gonna ask you is, did you bring anything in? That's usually what it is. Where'd you come from? Why are you in jail? And then we're gonna sit you down and we're gonna tell you how you're gonna live your life for the duration of your stay while you're incarcerated. And we're going to give you a piece of paper, and that paper is going to have such small writing on it that you're not even going to be able to see it. And if you can't see it, we're going to give you reading glasses. And we're going to make sure that we're going to have somebody come and sit down with you, and they're going to sit on the bunk next to you, and they're going to make sure that you understand every single rule. And
that's your warning.
That's your warning, yeah. And the crazy part is we didn't see anything wrong with that. We looked at it like we were advancing our people, and what we were doing is we were just making a bad situation that much worse, and we would have called you on it if you didn't get up in the morning, because we have guys like that. It's crazy because, for everybody that says stop snitching and all this other crazy stuff, like we had snitches in that tank, that would come and tell us everything people were doing, and they would tell us, hey, well, James didn't get up and, it's been 45 minutes, he's already awoke, he ate his breakfast and he went back to sleep, and I just want you to know that. And I was like, oh, thank you, and then boom, we'll let it go. But the crazy part, what people don't understand is we constantly need victims on standby. That was what not anymore, but this is in the past. We needed people to make those mistakes because there was like a rotation of individuals, and we needed to get stuff to the hole, so we needed people to actually mess up like that, and we kind of keep tabs on them and things, and you never know when you're going to have to get on somebody to get out of that tank or go somewhere else. And yeah, it's unfortunate, James, that you were in this horrible environment, and we see it now.
Yeah, unfortunately for you, you had enough sense to see it that way, because I'm gonna tell you this, James, those dudes that were in there like you that didn't have the support, didn't have all that extra shit, those are the cats that are in here the most hopeless. And fortunately for you and your kids and your wife and us, even us today, because you give us this opportunity and this platform, and you're making this possible for us, that it didn't affect you the way it did them. Because when you see these guys in here that are stuck on these 180s, that are stuck in the shoes, that are stuck in the ad segs, those are the guys who have nothing to lose. They're completely hopeless, and so they're in here literally terrorizing this place. It's not always them, because trust and believe, these visiting rooms on these 180s are jam-packed, these level 4s are jam-packed, but the shoe visiting rooms. But there's a large portion of them that came in and was like, well, I have nobody waiting for me out there. I have nobody doing anything for me in here, so
You have 60 seconds remaining.
So luckily for you, you were able to say, hold on, this isn't for me. I want to be able to take care of myself. I don't need somebody else to take care of me, and I can't take care of myself from behind these walls. And you did what you needed to do. You made the man choice.
Hey, James, can you hear that noise? Let's go.
Is it like a beeping noise?
Hey,
or
the phone's going to... Yeah, we're going to move you closer. Listen. As the phone runs out, I want you to listen to this noise.
Yeah, I hear it. Yeah, I hear that.
You hear it?
Yeah, What is that?
The alarm. That's the alarm.
Oh, okay.
That's the alarm.
That's emergency. That's an emergency alarm. And we're going to call back right now.
Okay,
all right. Call back right now. And, yep.
All right, cool. We'll be waiting. All right. I thought they were going to tell me like their smoke detector was going off. I've never been to prison, so I've never heard that sound before. So definitely an interesting sound to hear. And I appreciate you guys are tuning in. I know you guys are probably going to be coming in and out just because you guys have I'm sure if you're Latino, Hispanic, or brown, then we typically celebrate Thanksgiving today, and I'm pretty sure you're going to be all around family and whatnot, and hopefully and there might be some people out there that that are not connected with their families, but if you're not, then you're more than welcome. Hang out here for as long as we're going to be on, and we should be here on till maybe like at about 6 or 6:30. I do have I gotta go head over to give me a moment.
This call is now being recorded.
You have a prepaid call from
David Lopez.
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hello. And you know what? I want to touch on a little bit of my juvenile experience. So when I was hitting the halls and I went to camp and whatnot, it was all fun and games, because there was no rules, no regulations. You could do whatever you want, and it was structured. You always had a staff watching you. You always had eyes on you. So it wasn't a bad experience. At least for me. I didn't have a bad experience. I didn't gangbang, so I really didn't have those issues that other people had. But yeah, it definitely changed. The atmosphere changed. The first time hitting county, it wasn't any no more fun and games anymore. You were gonna mind somebody whether you liked it or not. So yeah, I definitely those experiences did have a profound effect on me. But obviously, I ended up hitting county like maybe like four or five times before I ended up figuring out that this wasn't for me, and I was pretty much at the end of my rope. I was at a fork in the road as far as myself, and the next step would have been to prison, and the judge definitely made that clear to me. And I could still hear his voice. When I took my deal, they ended up sentencing me to a year in county jail, and from that point on, I decided that this wasn't going to be my life. That was it. It was gonna end now. And I would lie to you. I would be lying to you guys to tell you that I went ahead and went the straight and narrow. When I came home, the only thing that changed was I just ended up changing the type of crimes that I was out committing. So I was involved. I was heavily involved with graffiti, vandalism, and tagging and whatnot, and that was one of the biggest things that ended me or leading me to go into these places. So I just cut that out, and I figured out that was my problem right there. As long as I stopped doing that I wasn't gonna be getting arrested anymore. So for numerous years, I was either shoplifting, drinking and driving, and things of that nature. Luckily, fortunately for me, I did catch a lot of breaks, because I would be lying and I would if I told you that I had never been pulled over while I was drinking and driving. But for whatever reason, whether if they got another call or the cops just didn't want to deal with it that day, they would cut me loose. Fortunate for me, which helped me out because I didn't have to go. I didn't end up in county jail again or possibly in prison. But now I reflect on that and I appreciate those moments and luckily I didn't hurt anybody else while I was doing these things. But now I could say that. Go ahead.
No, well, the crazy thing is that what you just said, it's pretty much how our change happens in here. We make a decision. We're like, you know what, I'm gonna stop. I can't do this no more. I'm not gonna go through with it. Yeah, we're in this situation right now where, at this time we still got life sentences and whatnot, but like for me, when I said, well, I wanted to make a change, it doesn't mean that I ceased. I stopped all criminal behavior right there. That would be dishonest. That would be a lie if I told you that. I stopped some of the things that I was doing. I thought, okay, well, I'm not going to use drugs no more. I knew that, meth was my drug of choice, so I'm not going to use that no more. But I'm going to use these other crutches to get off of the meth. I'm going to do, I'm not going to target these people. I'm not going to use weapons, but I'm still, I'm leaving reservations for certain things, and that's how it happens. And I got lucky breaks, man. I got breaks where I should have got caught up, where I was half stepping. I wasn't all the way over. I was doing things I wasn't supposed to be doing in here, and I got breaks. You know, squad runs into the building, and guess what, man? They went to all the cells that were around my cell. There was a time where I was in a cell, and I was messing up, man. You know, I was sitting there. I had things on me that I wasn't supposed to have, and I couldn't go to yard when everybody went to yard because I was on C status, which means that I was classified as a program failure. So I couldn't go to regular yard. They had to set aside like an hour and a half or an hour for me to go to yard when you know, with just people that were on the status like I was on. And I'm sitting in a cell, and the investigators run in the building.
We have a call. I'm gonna go and pick it up.
Yep.
Hello.
Hello, James?
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
We could hear you.
I'm on?
Yeah, you're on live.
This is LA Analyst. I just had to call to prove that I'm a female because I know you call me a he, she. You guys are wondering if I'm a male or a female?
Hey, I thought she said that. I thought she said he, she too, and I was like, I'm not gonna put my opinion out there.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Right there.
James, sound off when you're done, camarada.
Man down.
So this was for James. Like, I'm a
Man
female.
down.
But no, I just have a comment. I just wanted to congratulate you guys. I mean, I've been listening from the beginning, and you guys are completely changed men. Like, I can see the change. If I can have that baton where I can just swing it around and say you guys are free, I would, because I know that you guys have a good place out there, and one day you'll be out there with family. Hopefully that is sooner rather than later, because I know that it's been quite a challenge for you guys being in there and everything that's you know, trying to get out there. So I'm just happy to know that, you know, there is change, and you've taken up the advantage of those opportunities offered to you guys. You guys are doing great, so that's really nice to hear. So just want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Bye, guys.
Yep, thank you. I appreciate that. Any words of encouragement always do wonders, because sometimes, you know, we don't always get to hear. You know, we know what we're doing is the right thing, but it always feels better to hear it from somebody else, you know. So it definitely means a lot. Again, appreciate your support. I know you've been here with us from the very beginning, you know, and thanks for coming back. You know, we missed you. You were gone for a little bit.
Yeah, you know, life gets on the way, but I try, even if I'm driving, I try to listen, but I can, you know, send messages, but I'm always there behind the scenes just listening. So yeah, always like to hear, you know, how good you guys are doing. So keep it up.
No, that's cool.
Right.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Appreciate it. You have a good one. Have a Merry Christmas. Hope your family's blessed this year and for the New Year's, you know.
Thank you. All right, you guys stay blessed. Take care.
Thank you.
Hey, you too. Okay, thank
And-
you for calling.
And not to toot my own horn over here, but man, that call sounded really clear.
It was. Hey, you know what? To toot your own horn, man, you got that coming, James.
Yeah. Let me toot it for you.
Yeah,
let me toot it for you. That shit was right on point. That
was straight.
I violated. Look at, I already broke the challenge.
Yeah.
I said the S word. Did he?
Oh, he's in trouble, man. Well, I'm still good.
Yeah, hold on. My son, he's got to give me a calentada. We got to make this right.
I'm still good with LastChanceHomie. Yes, is out. You know what I mean? Yeah, so... Yeah, but so what I was telling you earlier is that I was in the cell, man. I was doing things I wasn't supposed to be doing, man. I was already thinking, I guess you want to call it pre-contemplation. You know, that's a part of the change where we're just like, okay, we know that we have to make changes, that I've accepted that, you know, my life is, you know, out of control, but I was still half-stepping, and boom, squad ran in the building, man, and everybody's out, you know, and, you know, I was on the tour where there was a lot of people that were messing up, and, you know, squad, you know, for the listeners that don't know what squad are the people that come for you when you're messing up in prison. They are the gang investigators. They are the people that they unravel everything that we try to do in here when we're living that type of lifestyle, and when we're not living that type of lifestyle, yeah, they're the men in black, man, and we don't see them until we see them. So, yeah, they're really, you know, it's a shout out to them guys too, man, because they make this place a safer place. They don't always get everything, but you could tell that those guys, they're always very respectful, and they know what they're doing, you know. And so, yeah,
it's squad business with them. Yeah. It's not personal. It's not like dealing with the other.
Yeah.
It's not like dealing with other correctional officers who take a lot of this stuff personal. You know, I will say I played cat and mouse with them dudes for a long time. You know what I mean? And they were my worst enemies for a long time. And I wouldn't consider them friends. You know, I know some dudes that I was real cool with that are in squad now, but I'll tell you what, they don't take none of this shit personal. It's all business for them. And if you give them, Yeah, if you
personal.
Yeah. If you give them a reason to come mess with you, and I tell people all the time, if I'm working at Burger King or I'm working at Carl's Jr. and I'm doing my job, and somebody comes in there and they're making messes and doing all kinds of dumb shit, I'm gonna come for their ass. You know, hey man, what the hell's the matter with you? Get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? You're not welcome in our restaurant anymore, or something like that. You know, and basically that's the same thing. If you look at it objectively, what these guys are doing now, you know, like I said, some people take it personal because they, you know, I did. I used to take it personal when they were coming in my cell and destroying my shit every time. I took it personal, but the reality is I brought them there. You know what I mean? They didn't come for me because I wasn't doing anything. They came because I gave them a reason to.
Yeah, these guys, they were in there that day. I mean, they were in all the cells, and since I was in the cell, you know, I said I was doing something I wasn't supposed to be doing, man. And they're all in the cells around me, and then they when they come, they came with drills. They came with, like, they're opening the lights, they're opening the sockets, like they're gonna strip down. They're stripping these cells down that are all around me, and I'm sitting on the bunk, and I was praying, you know, as bad as that sounds, and I was praying to God. I was like, oh my God, you know. Don't let them come in here, you know. Just don't let them get me right now. You know, I'm dead bang. I'm got. You know, there's nothing that you can do. When they come for you, they're gonna find it. You know, and the bunk is literally vibrating because they're opening everything up in the neighbors. I can feel the drills, and I'm sitting there vibrating, and I'm scared. You know, I'm like, man, I could feel fear. Like, man, everything that I've, you know, worked for at this point in time is going to be thrown away. The little progress that I've made is going to be thrown away because I'm going to be, you know, hit back down to zero again. And God listened to my prayer, but there was something there. There was something else with it. You know, like, look, man, I'm not going to keep getting you out of these messes. You know, that's just what I felt. You know, like, you gotta be real. You gotta be real. You know, and I don't want to get too, you know, it is Christmas time and stuff, but I don't want to get too religious or anything. But I just felt that love in my heart. Just like, look, man, I know what you are. I know what you really are inside. I know where your heart's at, and I'm gonna let you get away with this one. But you know your time's coming if you keep going down that path. You know, and so just like you, James, you knew what it was. Whatever your wake up call was, you knew that you had to stop doing the things that you were doing, and I had to stop doing the things that I was doing. I still didn't cease all criminal behavior at that time, but I did wind down whatever I was doing in that cell that day. Guess what? I stopped doing that, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna go do, you know, I'm gonna do these things because these things aren't bad. I'm not hurting nobody. You know, I'm breaking these little rules here and there. But at the end of the day, I knew in the back of my head that what I was doing had to stop. I had to cease, and I was only able to find genuine change and peace in my heart when I made those decisions. I'm not gonna leave a reservation for violence. I don't want to get freaking hurt in here. I don't want to get hit in here. I don't want none of those things to happen. That stuff scares me because everything I know in how to navigate around the situations is no longer applicable. You know, I can't do the things that I used to do to stay safe in here. So I have to find new ways to stay safe in here. I have to trust in the guys in black to come and save me if they hear something, you know, out in the yard, because people talk to them guys, you know. And I have to trust that I'm doing my program, and I have to trust in them to maintain security in here. It's not my job to do that. I have to do what I'm supposed to be doing, and I shouldn't be caught up in things because if I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, those things, they're not going to come my way.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And I know Jesse had his wake-up call. You know, he's you know, he had a big wake-up call. He had something happen to him, or he was out of here. He was done with level 3. He had got caught up, you know, and Jess, I know you've talked about this before with the listeners, you know, but that was your wake-up call. You went to ADSEG. You were sitting back there. You were put up for transfer. And what happened?
COVID kept me here.
COVID kept him here. COVID, they squashed all transfers. And enough time went by where he was sitting here where they had to release him back to the yard, and they were going to send him up, you know, to those places where I came from. And those places, they're not about change. They're about managing their security. They're about cleaning up the mess basically on those yards. You know, their rehabilitation it's a fine concept in those institutions, but they're basically just trying to, you know, stay safe and clean up the blood. And Jesse was on his way up there, and COVID kept him here. Go ahead, James.
And I want to actually touch on something. COVID, you know, and now that I think about it, this stream here on YouTube is happening because of COVID, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm not sure if I mentioned it to you guys before, but so my buddy that did the introduction, he actually was supposed to. He had a level 3 override, and he was actually supposed to go to Lancaster in the middle of COVID, and the day that he was set to transfer, you know how they were testing everybody, so they tested him, and his test came back inconclusive. They couldn't figure out if he was negative or positive. So that pretty much canceled his ticket, to jump on that bus. And
you have 60 seconds remaining.
So after that, he was this time.
Here we are.
Yeah, he was on the main line, and then after whatever ever happened, he ended up ending on your side. So who knows where he would have been at if he would have ended up in Lancaster, because that's where he was supposed to go. So obviously we would not been having this conversation here. So thanks to COVID, we're having this podcast, and thanks to COVID, Jesse, he's able to, he was able to stay on that yard, and here we are now. So if you look at all these things, if these things would not happen, we would have never been here, having these conversations.
Yeah, I know exactly where Jesse would have ended up, and how he would have ended up.
I would have ended up right back where I started before I got here.
We got to be mindful of the 60 seconds, Jesse.
All right, go
James.
for it. Yeah.
I'm out of here. I'm gonna call back.
All right, perfect. All right, right now, and then when they call back right now, I'm gonna go ahead and read off these comments that you guys are putting on here. I'm gonna go ahead and read off ICEMAN's, and then I'll go ahead and read off Last Chance Homie's comment, and anything else that comes after that. I'll go ahead and make sure I don't miss any of these comments, because these gentlemen, they appreciate all these comments that you guys are dropping on here. And what I've been doing now is I've been taking screenshots of all these messages, and I've been sending them over to them via the tablets, and they get to see what you guys are putting on there for them, with their very own very eyes. I did the last stream we had last Sunday. I went ahead and sent the messages over to David, but it's still pending. The prison or the administration, whoever reviews these messages, is definitely dropping the ball on it, and I'm sure they're overwhelmed with messages right now due to the holidays. So.
Global Tel Link, you have a prepaid call from.
This call is now being recorded.
An inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
All right. I appreciate you guys calling. Yeah.
Wait. Go ahead, James. Gotcha.
Okay. So right now, we do have 6 people on here, so I'm not sure if you guys heard the message, when we started the stream, but we are actually taking live calls. If you jump in the chat, I posted up the phone number, and you guys go ahead and call in and ask them any questions, make any comments, or whatever, is that you want to throw out here. Just please, keep it respectful. And then I want to go ahead and read off a comment that ICEMAN put on here, and he puts, Merry Christmas to Jesse and David.
Cool, man. Merry Christmas
to the Iceman and his family.
Yep.
And then he also puts on here, I'm with my granddaughter, nieces, and sister today. A lot of estrogen.
Yep. I trade all that estrogen for all this, what is it, testosterone up in this one.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
Yeah, I'd rather be there than here.
There's a lot of emotional so-called gangsters up in here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I want to go. I got another one. So Last Chance Homie put also at the barrio. I used to always ask myself, why am I here? So it was earlier on when we were speaking. So I guess that's maybe like the earlier stages of the thoughts of second guessing, the choices he made, and now he's here, Yeah.
Pre-contemplation, man. That's where it starts. What is it? This it's pre-contemplation, contemplation, action, and then relapse. No, maintenance. And for some reason, it's crazy because they always put relapse after maintenance. And I was just joking around with one of my instructors over here, because that's how it goes. They're like, okay, well, where are you at in your change? Are you a pre-contemplation? Because then at least they know they can encourage you, to do good. And then contemplation is like, okay, you really got to make a change. But then when you get into action, that's when something has to happen, man. That's when you got to make those changes. Oh yeah, it's preparation. Yeah, then action. But then it says maintenance, right? Well, I've been in the maintenance stage for over 5 years now, and the thing is after maintenance stage, it says relapse. So I tell my instructor, I'm like, okay, so you're telling me that I've been in maintenance, for this much time, and they show maintenance up to 5 years. So I'm like, well, I'm over 5 years now, so I guess, where's it at? And my instructor looked at me like what the hell? I was just joking, yeah, poor baby. But yeah, I guess I gotta go score now, so I can, I can do, I can finish the cycle out. Yeah.
Hey, so my question is this then. Seeing as LastChanceHomie, clearly he sounds like he came from, similar backgrounds or similar.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
As us, and he definitely has something to contribute because his he sounds like a pretty wise individual. Why doesn't he come on and give us some background? Like I said, he clearly has strong, presence and strong, beliefs and strong thoughts about, what is and what isn't. And if at one point in his life he was in the barrio and he was, asking himself, what is he doing? The question is, what is he doing today, and what brought him here? And because this podcast isn't just for us that are in prison. I definitely want people out there, because I have a few friends out there that are going to be coming on that are success stories after prison. So, I mean, if he considers himself a success story, and he was a part of this lifestyle at one time, I would encourage him to come on and share his story with the listeners as well, because that's what this is all about. I believe, that's what this is all about, showing people that there is something else besides what they're in,
Yeah, hey, that's definitely a good idea. Yeah, we're just a phone call away. The number's there, and you're participating in the chat. Why not? Jump on air and they could pick your brain. We could,
engage.
Engage. Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
And then also,
Jesse, during. Go ahead.
Lifestyles Chronicle put a message, and this was in regards to when we're speaking about how I mentioned that. Oh, we got a call. Here we go. Hold up. Hello?
James.
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing, bro? This is Lifestyle Chronicles, man.
Oh, man, thank you for calling in.
Chronicles, what's up, man? Yep.
How you doing, fellas? Hey, I just wanted to tap in real quick and let everybody know that it's not easy out here on the streets either. Once you are able to get yourself straightened up and in line, there's always going to be those temptations no matter what. It's just a matter of us fighting off those temptations every single day, giving back to that man up top, and those blessings that continue to happen. Like I put in my notes a little bit ago in the description there, that it's not by chance, fellas, it's not by coincidence. These things are happening for a beautiful reason. The contact that you have with James, there's a reason why you're getting this exposure, and there's a reason why we're all connecting. Some of us are business owners, some of us, manage companies, and it doesn't mean that we don't have a past. Myself, I do have a past, and I've come a long way, and where I am today is nowhere where I was 20 years ago, and I do believe that every one of your messages, it comes with the cost, the cost that you've already paid to the state, paid to your families, and paid to the victims. And I do believe that you guys are remorseful and do deserve more than what you're getting right now. And there's a reason why James is connecting with you guys.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. This is David, man. And I hope you see that your words matter to us. I know that Jesse, it wasn't easy for him to not use those, some of the cuss words and stuff, but he's doing good, and we what you say matters to us, man. We believe in you guys.
Absolutely.
We can see that you're.
No, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. To use a better vocabulary than what we've all been accustomed to, growing up. It's hard, but that just shows the maturity and the growth. It doesn't sell you short. It doesn't make you look any less of a man, just because you're not talking the same lingo that everybody else is on the yard when they're walking the track, when they're chopping it up and doing what they're doing. You're coming with a better vocabulary because you're trying to raise yourself above some of these things that have been holding you back for so many years. I get you. I understand.
Yeah.
we're trying to transcend this place, and you know how, I mean, you know from understanding that, like, some people tend to think like, okay, these guys think they're better than us, or it triggers insecurities in other people. Because I know even when I first started changing, I struggled with the changes I was making in my appearance, in my character, and my demeanor, everything, because I always felt like other people were judging me, but it was triggering insecurities in me. But you're 100% right. You said something about, you know, the struggle out there being real. And that's one of the biggest things that we have to wrap our head around in here. And I share with guys all the time in the groups and the programs that we facilitate. I tell them all the time, like, look, man, don't think that just because we're transforming our lives that old person is completely dead. You know, all those things are still there, the defects, the beliefs, everything. You can't unlive the life that you've lived. What it is now we're just no longer consumed by it. We develop the tools to navigate life with integrity and do things the right way. We face adversity, and instead of folding up and making a horrible choice, like how you said, you know, when you're out there and you're dealing with obstacle and adversity, where, oh, you know what, I'm going to go do a highlight, or oh, I'm going to go do this. No, you know what, check it out, man. It's nothing that comes easy is worth having anyway, so I got to persevere and I got to push forward, and now we're developing those tools so that way when we do get out there, committing a crime or making another victim or making a horrible choice is not an option. There's always an opportunity, you know. There's always another option.
There you go, bro. You said it right there.
Transforming my life.
That's it right there. You know, exactly what you put together right there. And if I could throw in one more thing, holding ourselves accountable, I think is another big thing. Because once you hold yourself accountable, you don't have to put yourself low. It doesn't matter about the tattoos. It doesn't matter about what's on that paperwork. It's a matter of what you know you are. And that says a lot when you're walking into some of these doors, you know, when you're going up to parole board or whoever it is that you're standing in front of, when you can hold yourself up high and tell them that, yeah, that was my past. That was who I was at one point, but this is who I am today. These are the things that I'm trying to accomplish.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
It's a beautiful thing, man. You guys got to continue, and I know you will. You know, you have a great support group there. You know, everybody that's been on the show, you know, they all have their own story, and it's great to hear, you know, and there's a lot of us that are just listening and kicking back and putting our little messages in, you know, and obviously you guys don't see all that, but believe me, you know, some of us, we've been there, we've done that. You know, me personally, I paroled, you know, I discharged a T number almost 18 years ago, man, and, you know, I've been through those struggles. I know the trenches, I know what it is, but the trenches that I'm going through now is providing for my family, making sure that my kids have a beautiful Christmas, making sure that my wife is happy to see me when I get home after a long day. Those are the struggles that I go through, you know, and wanting to get home for those things, you know, and I know that those are the things that you guys want to feel too someday. And I believe that you guys do have and should get that second chance. And if God continues to work in everybody's hearts and continues to work the way he is, there's going to be a chance that you're going to be walking with us very soon.
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to tap in with all you guys. You know, James, it's the first time I've been in, and I'd love to jump on again. You know, obviously everybody has a story. I got one hell of a story also, and you know, just hearing what you guys are going through, honestly, it just continues to burn the fire within me to make sure that I'm living the proper life in order to provide for my family and not end up back where I once was and in a dark place.
Yeah, good orderly direction, man. You're an inspiration,
hey, well,
man. And that was
you guys stay blessed, and hopefully we can jump on again. You know, I wanted to jump on this opportunity real quick. I saw that. I've been a little busy today, but I was able to get on this one. And James, you know, you're doing a great thing, man. You continue to live in the honor that you are and the integrity that you're showing with these men, and it's an awesome thing, man. You know, you guys all have a blessed day, and I know that it's a little hard to say, hey, you know, Christmas and all this stuff, you know, you guys are on a different side of it. But believe me, you know, we're all going through different adversities. It doesn't matter if we're on that side or this side. It's still living, and it's still real out here too, man. And like you said, you know, the positivity, as long as you stay positive, things will continue to flow in the right direction. So everybody stay up, and all the members, you finally put a voice behind it. So hopefully I could jump on, you know, another time.
Definitely.
So everyone take care.
Absolutely.
Thank you for tuning in.
We invite you to come share your story, brother, anytime, because like I said,
I will.
That's what people need to hear. Is they need to hear them success stories, not just the listeners out there, but those of us in here need to hear that, because that's a reminder of what we're striving for.
Absolutely. And I know you guys are going to continue to do that, man. Some great stories. You guys take care, all right? Thank you, James.
Thank you. Thank you for calling
Merry
in.
Christmas to you and your family.
All right.
Merry Christmas.
God bless. Thank you.
Thank you.
And you know what? And that's something I want to touch on right there too, because a lot of us, don't see, like the people like us that are not doing the same things and that are being successful, that are owning homes, having really good jobs and being able to support our families. So that's one of the reasons too that I wanted to start this channel was, to make those connections, you're in a dark place in your life right now, but it doesn't have to be like that. We have a voice, and this and I hear that a lot. They mention that in these podcasts, is that we do have a voice, and up until now, like, I never realized that. But now I do realize that we do have a voice, and by me starting something like this, hopefully it'll encourage somebody else, to either start something like this, or it doesn't even have to be about prison, but showing people out there, or people like us, that there is a way we can do it. We don't have to do the same things that we did growing up, gangbanging and going to prison. Let's do something different, something that's gonna better ourselves, better our families, and everybody around us.
Especially those people who walk through life talking about mi gente, me this, me that, right? So the reality of it is, like, what are we doing? What are you doing to lift your people up? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, there's nothing in this lifestyle that is uplifting for our gente. Like if people really want to get, in about our people and what they're doing and this and that, like our people went through the trenches to get here.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
And truth be told, those of us that chose the easy way as gang members, as criminals, as robbers, as drug dealers, that's not what they came for. That's absolutely not what they came for. We're the opposite of what our gente represented. That's the truth about it. You know what I mean? Because our people were hardworking, struggling. Their whole thing was perseverance. And so, if anything, we're a stain on what it is. So you're absolutely right. We definitely need to do whatever we can to shine a better light and bring a better voice to what people are doing, or people's true potential, or what we should be doing. I think that was the 60 seconds, right?
Yeah, it was 60 seconds.
We got about 20 seconds. All right, cool, perfect. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, I thought about it. Yep.
All right. So definitely, we're taking this stream, this live stream to the next level. Today we started offering incoming calls. Pretty much. If you guys want to call in, the numbers in the chat, and hopefully you got something positive to say, or if you want to challenge these gentlemen with your questions. I mean, feel free to go ahead and pick up the phone and reach out. We're just a phone call away. Reach out and touch somebody, like that one commercial will say. So hopefully, they'll be calling in sooner than later, and then we'll go ahead and get on with it. So far, we've been on for like about an hour now. We'll probably be on for like another hour or so. I do have a family dinner that I need to attend. Luckily, my wife, she understands. She's supportive, and she's supporting me in my journey.
This call is now being recorded.
Link. You have a prepaid call from
David Lopez,
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Thank you guys for calling back, and I want to share with you something. Earlier on in the morning, I was cleaning around, cleaning up on my yard in my house, and a thought came to my mind. You know how we use the term make a homie, don't break a homie, and Jesse just kind of said, he brought up mi gente. We're quick to screw each other over. All this about like make a homie and don't break a homie. like a lot of these prison stories, all you hear is breaking homie after homie after homie. I not that I could recall, but I haven't heard a story of make a homie. Except for these gentlemen that have been coming on, you guys have a great support system and you guys really help each other out, and you guys are not over there, stabbing each other on the back, and plotting on each other.
No.
So
now, let me ask you this though.
Yeah.
What is making a homie? Let's say in this environment, right, in prison. So I'll ask you this question, Jesse. Okay, so let's say we're gonna make a homie, right? What are we turning that homie into?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think the key word there is homie. Truth about it is, if you're using a term like homie,
exactly,
you've already subscribed to the gang ideology.
To a work ideology.
Yeah,
exactly.
But I understand what James is talking about in the sense that making a homie. And when you ask me what is a friend, and I told you a friend is committed, exactly. It's the same thing. If you're making somebody, if I'm making my boy, I'm making my friend, I'm making my man, I'm going to be doing anything I can to uplift him. I'm going to be holding him accountable. Basically, it's the same thing when you ask me about. So you're absolutely right, James. Like when it comes to in the criminal lifestyle, but I'm going to be straight up with you. In that lifestyle, that's what help looks like. That's what making somebody looks like. Making them more cold, making them more hard. Putting him when he goes through some shit, giving him drugs, giving him alcohol. Yep. It's just crazy. That's how warped our perspective is. That's how warped the ideology is. That when somebody's going through something, you're gonna offer them drugs. Versus come here, bro. Let me consult you, dog. You're probably hurting right now. You probably don't trip. Let me, let me be there for you emotionally, or hey, man, like check it out. That things are gonna be okay. Whatever it is. Our first thought is, or when a dude goes to get into it with another cat, instead of telling him, come on, dog, like really, is it really worth it? Think about, we encourage it, or I got you, boy, don't trip, I got you. Yep. And not to take nothing away from that. That's what people believe when they're consumed by that lifestyle, and that's what it looks like. They truly believe they're helping when they do that, versus what we do now amongst ourselves. And I use this term all the time. It's those who matter don't mind, and those who mind don't matter. Yep. So in our recovery community, if somebody comes up and they get at my cellie foul, my cellie doesn't have to worry about what I'm going to think about him if he decides to be a man and say, I'm not going to give my power to this cat. I'm not going to sacrifice my family. I'm not going to sacrifice my freedom. I'm not going to sacrifice the integrity, the good rapport that I've developed for myself around these communities. I'm not going to sacrifice anything because this dude is feeling some kind of way, because it's not me who's feeling some kind of way, and I have the power to determine whether or not I allow him to trigger something in me to where I am feeling some kind of way. So when I say those who matter don't mind and those who mind don't matter, those in our recovery community, we're not going to mind when you make the right decision. It's the opposite. In fact, we're going to encourage you, like, man, dog, I'm glad you didn't throw it all to the wind. Now, the people on the outside who do mind, like, oh, fool, come on, dog, you went out. You going to let that vato get at you like that? What's up, Holmes? Whatever it is, right? Those people's opinions, they don't matter to me. I don't give a damn what them fools are saying, because truth be told, them cats ain't going to do anything their damn self. Like the truth, that most of the cats that are standing on the side spectating, they're spectating for a reason, because they're not in the arena. And so you're absolutely right. Like when it comes to that making and breaking cats, like when we were using terminologies like that, we believed in our heart we were making you by having you out there busting your ass, doing rutina, getting you ready for guerra, showing you how to make a fierro, teaching you how to speak Nahua, teaching you how to spin line, all these things that in the criminal lifestyle were assets in the criminal lifestyle. But where can you use that outside of that? You can't. It's not a marketable skill in any other place besides prison. That's the truth about it. So all it did was make me and other individuals more criminally sophisticated. And so now that's the total opposite. When my friends are and when they're going through some shit, when they're hurting, when they're down and out, I'm here for them. You know what I mean? Because I'm a friend. I'm committed to the same happiness and the same values that they're committed to. And so if they're struggling, we help each other with school. We're all college students. And this isn't easy. I didn't go to school for 25 years. I hadn't seen a textbook in 25 years when I started going to school. And things were different 25 years ago when I got my GED in the California Youth Authority. So I definitely need people to help me out. Where before in the criminal lifestyle, you're going to be too proud to even ask another man to help you because you're struggling with this or that, And so we definitely making people, and you're 100% right, James, that there's nothing about making people when you're encouraging these dudes to throw their life on the line or to throw their life away.
Yeah. And yeah, I was thinking about a lot of different situations, you know, and scenarios in the past, you know, when Jesse was talking right now. And it's crazy because, you know, there was a time where, you know, I was in the day room. I don't remember if I talked to you about this before, James, but, you know, I was in the day room. There was a guy, and I wanted to knock his block off, you know, and that was here, you know, but, you know, I was able to utilize my coping skills. You know, I found Ricky, you know, it's crazy because Ricky Black, you know, we had actually met in an altercation, but he became my accountability partner. He was one of them, you know, and I had him out on the tier. And I was feeling a certain way. I started obsessing about what was going on, but instead of acting on it, I went and told Ricky. I went right to Ricky, you know, and I felt bad because, you know, my cellie stayed back. My cellie was in the cell. Jesse, he was in the cell
doing homework.
Yeah, he was doing homework, and he was getting ready for his visit, and, you know, he was just enjoying the cell time, you know, just doing what he had to do and stuff. Me and Jesse, we cohabitate pretty good together, you know, but it just sometimes, you know, I want to get out there and let Jesse just do what he's got to do in here, you know, and I was back in the cell 15 minutes later, and he didn't look at, I didn't feel judged by that. You know, when I got my door open and I came back in and locked myself in and went up to the top bunk and I told Jesse what happened, and he was encouraging. He didn't say, oh, well, you know, man, you should have just stayed out there, you know, forget that dude, you know, that's not the word that we would have used, but, you know, I'm still on my no cussing right now. But he didn't say that, you know, like, oh, forget that dude, you should have stayed out there, don't worry about that, you know. Jesse was like, look, man, just
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
You removed yourself from the situation. Ricky advised me just to get out of the day room, come into the cell, lock the door, and basically I'm out of the situation. And what, just like Jesse said earlier, that dude's opinion doesn't matter about me. It doesn't matter. He's not even here no more. Go ahead.
Let me ask you something. So do you feel that people, like, they know the path that you're on, so they're gonna come and, you know, try to mess with you or start something up to try to provoke you, or you know, to try to make you seem soft?
100%.
Yeah, they do. And
100%.
That's the crazy part is those dudes, most of the guys that do that, they're not really built like that. You know how they say, like, oh, well, these guys aren't built for prison? Well, these guys aren't really built like that. But the thing is that you can't really tell. You know, and there's some dudes that walk around and their idea of doing something in prison is a little fight. You know, it's a little fight, it's a little one-on-one fight, and that's devastating for guys like us. Like me and Jesse, we're both here for murder. We've killed, you know, so we know what a situation could escalate into every single time. So we refrain from violence. We don't commit violence, and we don't even entertain it. But these guys, they don't understand that. These guys are here for a short time. They're here for a couple years, and if they get into a fight, guess what? They get their time back. They lose 90 days. 90 days, huh, Jess?
Yeah,
they lose 90 days, and in 6 months, the time gets returned to them. They do a little bit of loss of privileges for a month, and damn, it's nothing to them. So they're walking up to these dudes, and these dudes that they're walking up to, these dudes were savages, man. These dudes were gangsters. You know, I know these people. I know Jesse. I've known this dude for years. He knows me. These guys are not walking up to sheep. These guys are walking up to wolves. But the thing is that we know what it is. That's gonna do nothing good for our lives. So we refrain.
I've always used the saying. I've always told people when it came to bullies and stuff like that. You know, you don't build the strong by sacrificing the weak. That's just the reality of it. You know what I mean? Like. So these cats that walk around, you know, especially here, like you said, you're 100% right about. I've seen it firsthand, and I've let it get the better of me a couple times, you know, throughout the last 2 years of my recovery. You know, and I don't want to say the better of me, because if it would have really got the better of me, then we wouldn't even be having this conversation, because I would have went down a rabbit hole on some bullshit BS, you know. But
caught himself.
But it did allow me to respond. The very same individual that David's talking about, he ended up getting beat up by three programmers. Three programmers literally ended up jumping on him because he rattled the wrong cage of some guys that didn't have the tools completely ready. But these are programmers. These are cats doing the right thing. But ultimately, he barked up the wrong tree, and he found out the hard way what it is. And that same individual, a week earlier, me and Silas were going in the building, and he tried to get silly with Silas the night before, and so he had already been on a short leash with everybody, but I responded in a way that I shouldn't have. Yeah, of course he peed on himself, but I should have never even given him that opportunity to pee on himself. I allowed him to trigger in me something that, but the thing about that is, like I said, I use the coping tool of when these cats are walking around here acting tough with people like us, where we make it clear as day that we don't want no smoke. I don't want no problems. None of us want problems. We don't walk around here with tough guy attitudes. We don't got no gangster leans. Like, we stay in our community. We don't involve ourselves in anything that would require somebody to come by acting tough. And we exercise with a level of humility that shouldn't trigger anybody in any way, shape, or form. So these cats that do find themselves trying to come along and pit bull and raw dog, I just tell myself that every time, like, even if this cat thinks he's getting over on me, he's not sacrificing the strong he's not building the strong by sacrificing the weak. The reason he's picking on me is because, or you're not picking on me, but the reason he's even like over here picking at me or any of the guys in my community is because he believes we're weak. And that just speaks multitudes about who he thinks he is. Because if he was really a bad dude, he'd be out there messing with these cats that are walking around here acting tough. But he's not doing that. He's hoping to build up and bolster his presence by nitpicking at people that he knows don't want no problem, because then he walks away from there feeling like a man. And again, he went and did it with the wrong people and ended up getting his stuff handed to him.
And he was yelling when they were on him. They were beating that guy pretty good.
Yeah, and
he's yelling. What's he yelling? Enough. That's enough. That's enough. And he's yelling.
Like, come on, dog. You ran around here for 6 months acting like you was King Kong,
poking at people. And it's just, and the thing is that one thing I've seen though is what these guys are going through now. They're on loss of privileges. They just got found guilty, and they're gonna probably get kicked out of here. They're probably at least one of them is probably going back to the level 4 because he was
one of them getting kicked out of San Diego State.
Yeah, the other one was a San Diego State University student during his bachelor's program, because this institution has a program here to get bachelor's degrees from San Diego State University, and me and Jesse were both lined up for that. We will get bachelor's degrees, and the crazy part is this guy, you cannot get write-ups, man. You gotta be write-up free for at least a year before you can even be in a program like that. And these guys are handpicked because they're supposed to be the top of the top. And this guy got into a fight and he's done. He's gonna get kicked out of that program. A bachelor's degree, James. You know how what people have to go through. You're out there in society, what people have to go through to get into San Diego State University. And this guy, he's done. He's gonna get thrown out of there. His cellie, who he got into it with, he jumped to back up his cellie, and we understand that. That's why we stay out of trouble, because I don't want to see Jesse go through that. But this other guy, he can't go nowhere. He was a knucklehead over here. He came to the side. He joined a gang, and he was known for for
hurt a lot of people.
Yeah, he hurt a lot of people in other yards. He has enemies everywhere. If he goes back there, it's not going to be good for him, and that's where he's going now. And that's the thing. Like me, I don't want to go to another institution. Go ahead.
You know what? And right now that you mentioned that he's going to get moved over to. So first of all, not only did he lose his chance of at getting his bachelor's degree, if he had any chance of going home, it's going to set him back at least 5 years now. Just for that one moment.
At least.
Yeah.
At least 5 years. And this dude that. Yeah, 5 years, man. We can't do that, and that's on a good time. That means that there's no telling if we're going to even get a grant then, because
you have 60 seconds remaining.
I've been clean for 6 years. If I put my hands on somebody now, guess what? The board's going to want to see. They're probably going to want to see 7 years clean next time, because if I can go 6 years and I can still revert back to my old behavior, guess what? I'm still a threat to society.
Yep.
And I know that. And I'm not going to give them that. I'm not going to do that to my wife. I'm not going to do that to my mom. I'm not going to do that to them. I'm sure.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I'm not going to do that to my victim's family. I want them to know that I'm in here taking responsibility for killing their loved one. I'm doing what I got to do.
And the violence will never be the option, regardless of the outcome.
It will not.
Whether it's the board, your hearing, or whatever.
Yep. Want to call back? Yeah, I'll call back, James.
Yeah, perfect.
Got me that time.
All right.
Yep.
All right. So right now, when they call back, I just thought about a question I had been thinking about asking him the other day. So hopefully, by the time they call back, I haven't forgotten. I should probably write it down so I don't forget. And it's gonna be about second and third chances. How many chances should somebody deserve before they're out of opportunities? I'm gonna write it down in my notes right now, so I don't forget. All right, and once again, oh, never mind.
This call is now being recorded.
You have a prepaid call from
David Lopez.
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hello.
Hello? Yep.
So there's a question I want to ask you guys. I thought about this the other day while I was at work. You know how you guys say nobody is beyond redemption or redeemable. Let me ask you. So, and I'm pretty sure you guys have run into people like this. So, like let's say somebody caught a case as a juvenile. They killed somebody. They went to YA and they did their time, came home. Then they picked up another murder case, and now they're in a situation like you guys. You know, they got life, 25 to life, and then for people like that, how do you guys feel about it? Do you feel like they deserve a second chance, and the reason I'm asking this is because I remember sometimes when I would be in the halls, you would hear stories or you would see dudes go home, whatever reason they were able to beat a murder case. They would be out for a week and they would pick up another murder case, and I'm pretty sure.
I know people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know people like that, and it look. Everybody's redeemable. The thing is, there's got to be time though. There's got to be time and separation. These guys, they're still whatever they're doing. There's guys that are here that have multiple murders, that are they're having opportunities to go home, maybe as youth offenders or whatnot. But yeah, I know one thing. Unfortunately, we know a lot of killers from all different avenues. Look at Carlos. Carlos's death penalty. I mean, he's still condemned.
Yeah,
that's my boy right there. I see who he really is. But there has to be some showing of empathy and remorse, and I don't believe that everybody should be. I don't believe we should just get pushed out into society. You know, that's just not reasonable. Even with me right now, I still got things to work on. Yeah, I believe that if I went home right now, that I would never hurt anybody again. But I still got things to work on. I still think that I need a few more years to make sure that everything is right for me. Jesse, I believe he's good to go. You know, he's ready to go home. He's got an opportunity. I could possibly have an opportunity to go to board in a couple years if things go right with my court, with what I got going on in court right now. But that just means that I have to work harder to make sure. You have to make sure that I'm right. You know, because it scares me. I don't want to end up like some statistic. I don't want to be the person that destroys everything that all these hardworking people have achieved and have accomplished. We know guys that, as far as ex-lifers and guys that are having an opportunity to go home, it's not going to be me that's going to check everything up, man. I'm going to make sure that I help everybody grow. And that's a big statement right there. You get kids. There's kids, James, that you don't realize. These kids at 17 years old, there's a lot of kids that have already killed multiple people. That's what they do. That's what gangbanging looks like. Not everybody does it, but yeah, I know kids that were killing a lot of people, man, before they were even 18 years old, and they got away with it. They come to prison for another murder at 19, 20, and they get LWAT maybe, but these kids got major bodies on them. Are they redeemable? What do you think, Jess?
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
What it boils down to with that question right there that you asked, James, I think it's the same across the board for all of us.
Yep.
The reality of it is, it's the science that is involved in all that. Those kids, I've been in YA with those very same kids, and I've been right here in prison with those same kids. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the truth about it. So what it is you get these kids that are out there that are products of their environment, products of dysfunctional households, products of just emotional instability, emotional immaturity, arrested development, all this stuff. They come in, they pick up these murders and as juveniles, they come in, they go to what is considered gladiator school, to a place where there is absolutely no rehabilitation, it's dog eat dog. That's what the California Youth Authority was. So for those youngsters, all those fools from 18 and all them dudes that got caught up in the Rampart, and I mean, I was in YA with a bunch of dudes that caught murders in the early 90s and ended up getting 10 years for it, and that juvenile life and all that stuff to your 25, and I've been in prison with a bunch of them. Seen them here. They're here for whole new murders. So you put them kids into a jungle, and they become creatures of the jungle. They become jaguars. They become madmen. You know what I mean? So you kick them out at 25 years of age with no more tools than when they came in with. In fact, they're actual predators. When they committed those murders as juveniles, they came in, they were products of their environment. You put them in places like the California Youth Authority, and they get out as predators, and they're back out on the streets. They still don't possess no tools. They have no marketable skills, nothing. And so when they get back out there, they're doing the only thing they know. And really, that's what prison is. It's full of people like that. Truth be told, I am one of those people. You know what I mean? That's the reality of it. You know what I mean? Like, and you come in here, and I had to wait till I was 39 years old before I started opening my eyes, because I thought exactly like I did when I was in the California Youth Authority. I thought the same way at 39 years old. I was the same immature, violent, impulsive, angry, criminal, gang member, and drug addict, drug dealer, all that stuff that I was back then when I was a kid. So to answer your question, absolutely those guys deserve chances, because they were only doing what they knew. A lot of those guys truly did not know anything else. So until you give them the opportunities, and now if they decide to just dwindle away at the opportunities and say to hell with it and thumb their nose at it, then that's on them. Like David said, not one of us should be let out of prison if we did not earn our freedom, because I don't want anybody living next door to my house like the old me. I don't want anybody around my kids like the old me. I don't want anybody in society like the old me. But if you earn your freedom and you capitalize on the opportunities that CDCR offers, and you rebuild yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and you make yourself somebody that's worthy of obtaining another chance at freedom in society and re-earning society's trust, then hey, give them that opportunity. But don't just give it to them. That's why I like the process, the rigorous process that we have to undergo before we obtain our freedom again. I'm all for it. You know what I mean? Because you shouldn't give freedom to anybody, because this place, many of us belong here. I belonged in this place. I got what I had coming to me. It wasn't until I began to start rebuilding myself that I became worthy of another opportunity. Do I deserve it? I don't deserve anything. You know, do I hope to one day show them who I am? Absolutely. But it's on them to make that decision for me. All I can do is continue to live my best life and make the best of it while I'm here. And if I ever am given the privilege and the opportunity to go back out there, I'm going to do it. And I believe that any of those kids that committed murders as juveniles, that committed murders when they got out, because the reality is, even if they got out at 25 under the law, they're still youth offenders when they come to prison for that murder. They're still youth offenders till they're 26 years old. You know, so I believe that everybody is redeemable if you give them the right opportunities, you know, and if they're ready, they're gonna grab them.
Yeah, there has to be a willingness on their part. There's got to be a willingness. You know, if somebody's not willing to change, then they're not going to change. That's just what it comes down to. I think that CDCR is on the right track. There's things that they're doing that are making a difference, but I just feel like they're not engaging enough with the population. They're focusing too much on what's in front of them on their file, and I don't see them engaging too much with the population to actually see, okay, they're not on the yards making those decisions. Okay, these guys are doing good over here. Let's go ahead and let's move them into an area where they can continue doing good. These guys right here are doing bad. Let's go ahead and let's engage more with them and find out what's going on. Let's focus and get these guys into certain programs that are tailored for their behavior. They're not doing that. What we have on this yard here, we have about 8 officers that sit on a bench under the gym where the tower's at, where there's gun towers on these yards. They're sitting underneath the gun tower, and the whole yard is open, and people are just walking around just doing what they do. And there's no engagement there. These guys are just running wild, man. They're all, you know, like I said, the Dolphins are going to do Dolphin stuff. The programmers are going to do programmer stuff. The basketball sports people, they're going to do sports stuff. But there's no engagement. with custody here and with the administration. And we're all left to our own devices. That's what prison is. Yeah, we get a ducat, we go to a class, but the fact of the matter is that a lot of those guys don't want to be there. If they don't go to those classes when they're ducketed, they got an assignment. If they don't go to that class, they're going to get a write-up, and they're going to do the bare minimum in the class. But they don't have, a lot of those guys don't have a willingness. They're just going with the flow until they get out or, get closer to board or transfer out to another institution. But there has to be constant engagement. Us as facilitators, Jesse and I, yeah, we mentor a lot of people, but we're also living on a prison yard. We have to be safe. I want to go to some of these guys that are struggling, some of the gang members here. I want to go to them and tell them, hey, man, I want to invite them over to our area, but the thing is, the fact of the matter is we can't, because we're going to get flagged. They see, okay, if we go over to me and Jesse, right, with our history, and we walk over there to where the drug addicts are, guess what? They're going to watch us. They're going to watch us, what we're doing over there, and they're going to wonder, okay, well, what are these two idiots got themselves into? That's what they're going to wonder. They're not going to hear our conversation because they could care less. They're just going to document, okay, well, Nava and Lopez walked over there. They associated with these gang members, known drug addicts, known drug dealers, and then we were in a blind spot for this amount of time, and then we went back to our area, to the bleachers, probably to spread out whatever we got over there. That's how they document stuff, because I've seen reports that were on me before, and I'm thinking like, man, that's not what we did at all. We went over there to actually talk to the guy to encourage him to come over to our CGA meeting at night, and things are looked at a different way. So those are the problems that I've seen. There's too many people on the yard. There's a lot of people on the yard. There's not enough engagement from the administration or from caseworkers, and it's not really safe. It's not a safe environment. We do what we do because we have a willingness. Period. So yeah, it's
and
go ahead.
And how are you able to engage, with people that are possibly, thinking about, turning over a new leaf or at least, checking what these programs have to offer?
We do it by example. I do personally. I just do what I'm supposed to do. I follow the rules, but I talk to certain people, and I make people I'm respectful to everybody, even the gang members and the drug addicts and stuff. I'm always, when I walk by them, I'm always like, "What's up?" and I'm cool, and I go about my business. So that's one way that I show them that I'm out of trouble, I'm out of these messes. When something happens on the yard, a lot of times they'll look at us. The gang members will be right there, and they'll look over at us, and I just shake my head and just shrug my shoulders, like, hey, that's what you get. in this environment. But yeah, it's tricky.
I think to answer your question is I make myself approachable, because I'm not so far removed from all that stuff. Everybody here, not everybody, but a bunch of these dudes that knew me when I was messing up, a lot of these dudes know me from before, so of course they could, what's up, man, how you doing, like Dave says. And it's like, man, what's up, dog? I want some of what you got. I want some, like a lot of guys make, and I tell dudes all the time, it's there. Let me know. I got, I went from serving dope to selling hope. What's up? Let me know. Like, and I encourage dudes because I say I'm real approachable. They know that guys all the time ask me like, hey, what's up? Can you get me into this program? Can you get me into that program? And if they ask me questions like that, it's like, come here real quick. Let me holler at you real quick. They do it in traffic, but it's like, no, hold on. Come here real quick. Let me holler at you, Doug. And be like, what's up, fool? You really trying to get into a program? And they'll be like, yeah. I'd be like, okay, well, why? What's up? Why, and I ask them a few questions. Oh, well, I'm trying to get some milestones and this and that. Okay, well, if you're trying to get milestones, put in a 22 form to the CRM, and they put you guys in whatever programs they put you in, you'll get your milestones. But if I see people that are reaching out, you see it, because I've already been through those phases. I've been through the pre-contemplation. I've been through the contemplation. I've done the preparation, the action, and now I'm in the maintenance. So you can identify sometimes where some of these guys are at. And if I see some sincerity, or I see them reaching out, like I know who the cagapalos are. I know who the drug addicts, the gang members, and if I catch them lingering where we're at, or I see them more often, like dudes that I don't even talk to regularly, like, what's up, dog? What's up? Oh, okay. Clearly this man is reaching out to me. And so I'll stop and be like, hey, let me holler at you. What's up? What you got going on over there? And just in the sake of conversation, because they know that
You have 60 seconds remaining. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
About no shenanigans. If I'm stopping, they know it's going to be a positive conversation because they know what my circle is. They know what my medicine is today. So when I start talking to them, they'll usually, their conversation will transition into that stuff right there. And so if I see a little bit of reach, I'll tell them like, hey, kindly over here, like let's go kick it at the bleachers. And if they're willing to put themselves out there like that and start at the bleachers, I'm more than willing to reach out. Then I make it an effort to meet them where they're at more often. But if they're not, if they're not making at least a little bit of an effort, then I can't subject myself or my friends to that for the same reason Dave said, because they document everything here, and I don't need any dirt on my name. But I don't know if you want to call back.
Yeah.
All right. Want to call back, James?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
All right. So we went ahead and reached that 15-minute mark. They should be calling us back shortly. And then we'll probably do. I think I have time enough for two more calls. So another 30 minutes, and we'll go ahead and wrap it up. And I'm gonna double check with them if they're able to jump on tomorrow, because I'm gonna be off of work for the next few days. I think I don't go back. I think I'm off till Wednesday. I want to say hopefully I'm off till Wednesday, or I might be going back on Wednesday. Anyhow, so I could only wish that I don't have to go back to work till Thursday. I'm going to be picking up a few hours this week, so. And there we go.
This call is now being recorded.
You have a prepaid call from
David Lopez.
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hello.
Well, yeah.
All right. So I know I know earlier on when we spoke, you guys wanted to touch on being incarcerated during the holidays. Do you guys still want to touch on that right now, or I'm not sure if you guys are available tomorrow. If you guys are available tomorrow, we could do it tomorrow. But if you guys want to do it now, that's fine also. And if you guys are available for tomorrow, that'll be even great. So, what do you guys?
Absolutely.
We're available, but what the heck do you think we've been talking about this whole time? We're talking about everything but the holiday. Hey, James.
No, well,
Yeah,
I kind of imagined something else. I thought you guys were going to talk about being in your cell all day on lonely and not getting any packages.
There it is.
Yeah, no, you got the right idea, and it kind of spiraled off in a different direction,
Yeah.
and I was actually gonna bring it back right now because I was gonna ask you a question, right? Because I think it connects to the topic, and that's exactly what I was gonna say. That we started this off talking about the holidays, spending the holidays in prison, and of course we started off talking about what it used to look like and what it looks like today, but we kind of just spoke in general terms. And you're right, we kind of did want to elaborate a little more on that, and we can do that tomorrow if we'll be available. But I wanted to ask you, right, because it's important too. We talked about how you had transitioned and how what made you decide to say, this isn't for me. So I wanted to ask you a question, right? Given what you've seen and what you know about life and the success that you've been able to obtain, and like you said it yourself, that you're doing things different this time. You obviously didn't. Something must have been done right the first couple times around, because both your other two daughters sound like great young ladies, and so are their daughters, right? You got two other little girls?
Yeah, I got nothing but girls. That's all I shoot out, just girls.
Yeah, don't trip, bro. I got the same curse. but that's my give back. That's my give back for being a dirtbag my whole life. You know what I mean? Being the way I was towards females. That was my give back. I got all girls, and then I got my grandson now, but he's my son. Like I'm raising him as my son, so he's my little man. But I wanted to ask you, like I said, you guys obviously, whether it was help of yours or your Heina, doing it, but your other two older girls, obviously turned out to be great, but I want to ask you this. How do you think it would affect your wife and your little girl if you were the one sitting right here, right now, on this podcast from inside these walls, and they were out there dealing with whatever it is, experiencing life however they need to. That's not us. However they need to, like basically going through the holidays alone out there without you, right? what effect do you think that would have on you, and what effects do you think that would have on your family? I just want to see if anybody out there might be able to understand, especially for you, because you've been in here, so you understand it a little bit. You missed a lot of your girls before, whatever, going through in and out or whatever, through the county and stuff like that. But how do you think it would have affected your family if they were there dealing with the holidays by themselves without you, and how would it affect you if you were sitting here missing the little opportunity of being there with your little girl and spending Christmas Eve with your wife, spending tomorrow the Christmas probably with your mom and with the suegros or whatever it is? Let me know how that would have affected you, and them.
You know what? To be quite honest with you, me and my wife, we will talk about it here and there. Not as far as being away during the holidays, but just in general, if I were to be incarcerated and her dealing with somebody that would be in jail, and to be quite honest with you, it would be devastating all the way around. For me myself, just because I hate people telling me what to do. If I want to do something, I want to do it when I do it, not when somebody tells me to do it. And missing out on my daughter's life. I mean, she's young right now. Of all of my daughters, this one, I don't want to miss any of her time. Because I'm here. I have a different mindset. I'm doing things differently. So for me, like I look forward to coming home every day from work. I like being at home. So if I was taken out of my home and placed in some type of facility, man, I couldn't do it. I can't do it. Like I just can't. Like I'll be devastated. Like I think I'll be stressing out. I'll be calling home like every day and writing and doing things like that. But yeah, no, my and then my daughter, she needs me. So. Like just like right now, like if I were to be home right now, like everything would land on my wife, so the way we do it with my daughter, she just started preschool this year, so I ended up cutting back from work, so I could be able to pick her up, because my wife, she works full time, she runs the house. She works and she does all these other duties. So the way I help out is by picking up my daughter. So just by me being pulled out of the home and having to do my wife needing to do everything around the household, I mean it would probably it would probably break her. And then dealing with somebody being incarcerated, she's gonna have to put money in my books, come visit me and things like that. It would be devastating all the way around. It's something definitely that I wouldn't wish upon anybody, especially at this age, like I'm 40, I'm 42, so I'm not trying to do no burpees. I'm not trying to do no push-ups or anything like that. I'm just trying to chill and watch TV, so yeah, I definitely wouldn't.
Gracias. Yeah. Tell Dave that he doesn't get that through his head.
Yeah, I'm 40. I'm 42. Yeah. Man,
I just want to kick back and watch TV, dog.
That's all I want to do is burpees and push-ups. I've been trying to get Jesse to do
this
burpees.
This old meathead right here, he wants to work out all damn day. Like, come on, dog, we're in our 40s. Isn't there a time when we could just hang up the glove?
I've been working on Jesse for 3 months now. You just set me back 3 months, James. Thank you.
That's the support. That's why I do this, for that kind of support. I'm done exercising with you, David.
Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate that, James. Thank you.
But then again,
so touching. Thank you.
But then again, hey, I wouldn't recommend that because, I'm on the street, so I'll be all right. But you're in prison, so you gotta at least be able to move around and bob and weave, if you need to. So. Yeah, no, I wouldn't recommend.
Way to clean that up, James. Way to clean that up. Yeah. Thank you.
No, you're always, right though.
Yeah, always a diplomat.
Yeah, always a diplomat. Yeah, you're right though. Absolutely. But you're 100% right. You touched on all the things. Like it would be a major financial burden on.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Having to take care of all the bills, having to take care of Christmas for your little girl, having to be there as a mother and a father emotionally, psychologically, physically, having to maintain a job. On top of that, you add the extra burden of her other half being locked up, being a piece of her being taken away from her, seeing the pain that your little girl is going through, who's accustomed to having her daddy there and being a part of her, because those are the most developmental years in their life, when they're in those early years of their life. So if she won't be able to understand why her dad's not there. So of course she's going to be asking your wife, "Where's my daddy? Why is my daddy not here? How come?" And those are that's extra stress and extra pain and extra turmoil that your wife would be dealing with seeing her little girl hurting like that. And then you being in here, now you're also another financial burden on her. Not only does she have to provide for the household and the baby and everything as a whole, she also has to provide for you, which is another nuisance, you know. And so these are all components that play a part into that, you know. But even more than the financial thing, it's a psychological thing. It's devastating. You see that you use that word perfectly, because it is devastating for us that have been in here our whole life, and this is what we signed up for, and it's like being in jail is nothing to us, but we don't give no consideration to the people out there who are doing this time with us. You know what I mean? For me, I didn't. I didn't give any consideration to. I spoke with my 22-year-old, my youngest daughter, earlier, you know, and they're coming up here for Christmas, you know, coming back to the Valley because she lives in L.A., you know, and she's coming back to the Valley right here and to go spend Christmas with you know, the family and her in-laws and this and that, and just like tripping out on that. Like for years and years and years, I never gave any consideration to the effects me being here and being absent of her life. She had to experience a lot of the same dysfunction that I had to experience because I was absent from her life, you know. So that's why I asked you that, you know, because I wanted to see if you understood from where you're standing the seriousness of the situation, or it just was just a normal instinct, you know. Because for me, it's mind-blowing to think that I could have just overlooked all this so easily, where now it breaks my heart. It kills me to think of my daughters. Of course, you know, our little girls, I don't know if it's the same for you, but I'll always see my daughters as my little girls. I always see them as small. Like I can't picture them being young ladies. I can't picture, you know, my daughters are, you know, 22, 20, 23, going to be 23 and 26, you know, like they're grown, you know what I mean? Like and so it's a trip, you know, and like I can't even fathom how I so easily overlooked the fact of me being gone from their life, and how they were the ones really doing this time, not me. I signed up for this. This is where I'm at. I expected this all my life because I've been doing this crazy stuff my whole life. I never gave no thought to how it was affecting my family or the kids or anybody else involved, you know. And that's why I wanted to ask you that, because it's the holiday time. So it's like, well, how would you feel if you were sitting here in a box with some other dude versus being there at home with your little girl and your wife and, you know, eating and doing the presents or whatever?
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
For Christmas, because it tears people up being in here, dog. You know, a lot of people, especially for those of us now who are sober enough to understand the reality of what's going on in here. You know, where a lot of times when the holidays came around, it's like, well, it's time to escape again. Let's get loaded, or it's time to escape again. Let's get, you know, drunk. But I just wanted to ask you that just to kind of just to see where your head was at on that, you know, because I know how it affects me today, but I know for a long time it didn't have any real effect because I didn't allow myself to feel that, you know.
You know what?
The thing is to go ahead, James.
I know, like if I were to be incarcerated, can I do the time? Yeah, I can. Do I want to do the time? Hell no. Like I'm not trying to, you know, no way, no way, no how. Like no, that's something that I wouldn't want to do, especially at this age and time. And before I forget, actually, August tapped in and put wishing you guys a Merry Christmas.
That's cool.
That's right.
Yeah, right there. That's the bro right there. Yep. Merry Christmas to them.
That's right.
Looking out, Augie. Gracias.
Yep.
And,
yeah, I wanted to say. Go ahead, James.
And one other thing, and another thing why I didn't continue down my path also is because I have a problem with commitment, like committing to things. So like joining a gang, that's a huge commitment. That's like a whole life commitment, and I just couldn't do it. You know, not only am I not violent, you know, like I wasn't trying to commit. So that was another reason, you know, like normally, you know, when especially in California, like if you're gonna go to prison, you're gonna go down that path. It's best if you know you belong to a neighborhood. I'm not encouraging anybody to do it, but like normally if you're by yourself, you know, it's you're gonna be placed into a group of your people, but you're gonna be down at the bottom. So that's another reason why I didn't continue down that path, because I didn't belong to a neighborhood, and I felt it in county jail. You know, when people would be like, "Oh, you're just a tagger," or you know, making dumb little comments like that, like you know what, like what does that have to do with you know with me being in here? You know, like somehow like that if you gangbang, you were better.
Yeah, that's just the warped it's the work perspective and work personality, and then it goes even deeper where there's just some neighborhoods are more like there's more notoriety, and oh yeah, you're not from there, you're not from this side, it's a giant,
It's a hierarchy that the criminals and gang members establish to make themselves feel better.
You know what?
I remember.
And you just touched on something too that I want to, and then we're all broken up into different groups, Mexican, Nicaragüense, Colombian, so and then like if you're not Mexican, then you're gonna have even a harder time because you're not real, you're not from Mexico, so that people look down upon you, so not only. Yeah, so I'll be double screwed, as a non-Mexican. I don't gangbang, and then I'm Central American. It was gonna be all bad for me.
What the heck are you, James? What are you?
So trip out. So look, so my mom is Salvadorian, all right, and then my dad, my dad is Puerto Rican. How that happened? I couldn't tell you, because they're obviously in two different places.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
And
you're a bona fide Latino. the word was made for you.
There it is. Yeah.
James was the stepping stone to Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Central and South Americans, they ended up with a strong hold up in here. I mean, truth be told, along the way, like I know for a long time it was seen that way because the Maras and because just the whole little thing. But yeah. But ultimately, the Central and South Americans, they weren't looked at much different. You know what I mean? Like if you were Raza, you were Raza regardless of Mexico, Central, South. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it all depends. James,
10 seconds.
Another call?
Yeah, no doubt.
Call back.
All right, so if anybody was interested, what my heritage was, there it is. There, I don't think I've run into too many people that have my combination. But I know there's a lot of different combinations when it comes to any of my cousins and whatnot that were born here in the U.S. They weren't straight Salvadorian. They were always, it was always mixed up with something. Either Salvadorian and Mexican, Salvadorian and Ecuadorian. So you would get a lot of different combinations and whatnot. I even got a brother that's Salvadorian and Mexican, and he was actually raised in Mexico. So we're not that different, especially me. I grew up in LA.
This call is now being recorded.
Global Tel-Link. You have a prepaid call from
David Lopez,
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel-Link.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah. Got Jesse at the door.
Yeah, I could hear him. Yeah,
Jesse.
Is it gonna be night yard or?
Jesse's a social butterfly. Yep, that's what we want to know. Yep, they heard you. Yep. He asked. That's what he's like. Oh, they're gonna be night yard. Yep.
Yeah. So
yeah, it just doesn't look good, Go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah. So I mean, like growing up and stuff, I don't think. Well, you know what? The area I came from, it was mostly, I would say, there was a lot of Salvadorans. We were not too far from MacArthur Park. But you know what? Growing up, my friends, they came from all over the place. Mexican, Nicaragua, Honduras, from everywhere. All walks of life. And I think growing up, none of that stuff really mattered. That stuff didn't start mattering till you get older and people start asking you, or they hear your mom talking, like, hey, like you're not Mexican, like nah, like my people came from somewhere else. So, and then so definitely interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm mixed, man. I'm a super mutt, so I'm not even sure all what I am. So, yeah, but
David Gumbo.
Yeah, David Gumbo. Yeah, I'm mixed up. I'm a Lopez, so I know there's a Mexican in there.
But you know what?
Around.
If you really think about it, we're not like, I mean, unless you're like from Oaxaca, and you're like straight, from the, from one of those tribes down there.
From the Sierra.
But all of us are straight. We got cuts, from all over the place. So we're not 100% pure, So.
Yeah. My grandfather's from Venezuela, so I can say I'm quarter Latino.
Hey, like my pops, my jefe, he was my dad was Puerto Rican, but he was like straight white, like he was like white, like whiter than a sheet of white paper.
Hey, where do you think yellow people come from? And I don't mean this as a drug. I'm just saying that because Jesse's like, and I don't mean that as a derogatory term for Asians. I'm saying Jesse is yellow, and he does not get dark, and he does not get light. He just stays like. He stays like
I'm translucent.
Yeah, he stays Dickie Brown. Like
I like to call it the Aztec gold.
Yeah, light Aztec gold. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's crazy because me, I'm dark, man. I get real dark. My wife, she sees me. She's like, man, you look indigenous. I look like I'm from Oaxaca. I think getting pretty dark over here because
he looks like his first language was Nahuatl.
Or Mayan or something. Yeah, I don't know. It's the sun out here, and I run around without a shirt all the time in the yard. And even in the hard summer, months and all that. And so yeah, I'm pretty dark.
And the heat could be brutal down there, right? Because you're right next to the border, and it's you're in the desert.
Yeah. It's so hot, though. It's like soul cleansing. That's how I look at it. I go out there and just bake. I like to run around. But they lock us down when it gets to, like, I think 108 or 110. Yeah, they lock us down. So that's just that's what it is about these prisons. But I like being in these prisons because these aren't medication prisons. These aren't, like, medical facilities because they can't have their heat meds. So there's medications that are, I guess, they're bad for people that are in hot temperatures, I guess over 90 degrees.
Yeah.
So they don't send them here. They send them to like Donovan and Lancaster and those prisons. So the guys here, they're pretty level-headed. There's not a lot. There's no mental health guys here and stuff like that.
You know what? And
mental guys, but they're just not in the system.
And having EOPs in there or people with mental health problems, it adds a different element to the dynamic in prison, right? Because they're not playing with a full deck of cards; they're on something else. So, not only do you have to worry about the people that are trying to act tough, you got some other people that just they're fine one moment and then they're talking to themselves and they might be thinking that you're plotting on them, and next thing you got a pending issue, and the administration doesn't care that these people have mental health issues. Like they're just gonna write it up as they see fit, and next thing you're on a bus to who knows where with possibility of coming home lost because somebody wasn't playing with a full deck of cards. I mean, no fault of your own, but the administration they're the ones that decide where these people go. So
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
There was an EOP building in Corcoran when I was over there, and those guys were on the yard. And what's crazy for me? I got a pretty big heart though. As much of this bad stuff that I was doing, like if I seen people that weren't playing with a full deck, or they were actually they were legitimately crazy, because there's people that play the part over there, but there's guys that are they're messed up. You can tell, and I used to try to buy them stuff, if I seen that they didn't have a TV and things like that, I would help them out. But the problem is that I did that with a few people over there, and they became man, I couldn't shake these guys. These guys were they were like my shadows, And I call them I had my own wild pack of EOPs they were always around me, And I used to get kind of nervous with these guys, and then the problem is too is that they got real protective of me. So when something would happen, there would be 5 EOPs that would just spaz out on them, I used to tell these guys hey, you guys need to chill out. They would overreact to everything.
Man,
they were my buddies, man.
You had the ultimate reverse Uno card right there in your pocket, but not only one, you had 4 or 5 of them around you.
Reverse Uno card. What the hell are you talking about?
Hey, that's right. It don't make sense. It don't make any sense, because they're EOP. So I mean,
exactly. that right there was an EOP statement. It was perfectly said. I understood it. Yeah. I spoke that language right there. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I had a wild crew, man. A wild crew.
Yeah, man.
That's funny.
And,
hey, you want to know? Okay, so a holiday thing, right?
Yeah,
A holiday thing. Go ahead, James.
No, go. You got it.
I want to get into a holiday thing. One thing that was on our prompts, right, was the wine sweeps. And the crazy part is that, okay, so a lot of people, like Jesse was saying earlier, a lot of people get drunk in the holidays in here. They get drunk or they get high and stuff like that. There's people that will time their batches, to where, their wine batches to where they'll pull it right during the holidays. So they end up doing wine sweeps. It's a common thing here. And they just did a wine sweep, when was it, like 2 days ago?
Yesterday.
Oh, was it yesterday?
Yeah.
They came in here and they hit the whole bottom tier. But I trip out on that, how the whole concept behind the wine sweep. It's like, are they even trying to get the wine? What are they? What are they doing? Yeah, they hit one part of the tier. It's like a surprise thing, but they do it days before Christmas. It just, all that stuff is just crazy. It freaks us out. The cops run in here all crazy, and man, when they come in to search, it kind of spazzes us out, man, because they just come in super deep. We don't know why they're here. They just start popping doors and pulling people out, and that stuff is it's stressful.
But the reason they do that, though, they understand that holiday times is when people tend to get drunk, get high, get drunk. Like I said, a lot of people are during those times are trying to drown out whatever it is, whatever misery they're going through, whatever stress, whatever pain, whatever disappointment. Because sometimes holidays connect people to some very nasty experiences or trauma in their life, So whatever reason it is, people use the holidays to, use drugs or get high, get drunk, whatever it is. They a lot of times it's habitualized, birthdays, holidays, all that stuff. But the reason the staff do those wine sweeps is because a lot of times people are ticking time bombs. You add people that are already emotionally unstable or mentally unstable because of whatever's going on in their head and their heart surrounding the holidays, and then you add something like alcohol, an accelerant to that, and you got staff getting assaulted, you got riots being kicked off, you got inmates being assaulted. There's all kinds of crazy shit that takes place because some people, especially here on these S&Y yards where there's no law and order, amongst the inmates, there's no real law and order. So it's like if an inmate gets up today and says, you know what, I'm just going to say F it today, and I'm going to get off today for the sake of celebrating, for lack of a better term, and they go out there and they do something crazy. They take off on a hoorah, but they're getting drunk first, they're getting high first. So that's why they do these sweeps like that, because they want to try to take that. Their job is already dangerous as far as the way they see it, and so they want to make sure, they want to take that other component out that could make it even worse for them, So that's why they do that. They try to get the alcohol out of here. Yeah. They know they can, 9 out of 10 times they can sweep any time, the rest of the year, and probably find alcohol as well, but they know that during the holidays, it's an exceptional chance that they're going to end up finding one,
Yeah. I was a good drunk 90% of the time. But 10% of the time, I was a bad drunk.
That's 10% is why they do them sweet.
Yeah, 10%. That's why I don't drink. That 10%, it's not worth it. I've been clean from alcohol a lot longer than. I've been clean from alcohol probably for almost 6 years. It's been a while. Yeah, I figured that it's not worth it, man. That 10% right there could throw everything away. Get me caught up, and it's a big omission, man. Making wine in here. That's how I accidentally quit alcohol. Because I was too lazy to make wine. And so I just went, I didn't want to save up everything. And I was like, I don't want to get a write-up. I don't want to lose my family visits. And then a year went by, and then all of a sudden I wanted to drink. And I was like, man, so I started saving stuff up. And then I was like, man, I already been clean this long. Why am I gonna drink now? It's just not worth it. That's a big omission.
Congratulations on that.
Caught, man. Oh, thank you.
Definitely not.
That, James.
Definitely not worth it. Me too. For the most part, I really don't drink either, because man, it brings out my alter ego and it switches up my mind. And normally, I'm pretty well mannered, and I become very violent. So I tend not to drink, because I'll put up with a lot of stuff when I'm in my right sense. But yeah, once I start drinking, you look at me wrong, you step on my shoes, or you come at me sideways, and I'm like unrecognizable. So I tend not to drink because I don't want to end up in that place.
You definitely shouldn't be drinking. Extremely violent. Yeah, no way. That's not worth it, man. You know, I'm thinking about, you know, what's crazy is that right now, like during this conversation, I was just thinking about, you know, the guy that I'm here for killing. You know, his initials are MR, and I'm thinking that, you know, I'm thinking about his son right now, and his son was probably 1 or 2 years old, you know, when that happened. So I've been in for 13 years. So I'm thinking that his son's got to be, you know, 14, 15 years old right now. And I'm just thinking about you know, I wonder what he's, you know, what they're experiencing right now. You know, these holidays, I wonder if they look forward to the holidays. I wonder if it's hurtful, you know. It's just a lot.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Yeah, I wonder if you know, if he's in juvenile hall, and then how you said that, what you were going through about you not being there. And then I think about that too, like, man, I took his dad away from him. And yeah, so it's, these days they bring up more of those feelings for me. You know, I think about, man, you know, I wonder what kind of life this kid's having, and yeah, it's crazy, and that's why, you know, I encourage people to really think about the things that they're doing, and I tell guys in here, you know, you don't understand. Okay, so there's the first victims, and then there's the secondary victims. There's the people that they're unintended victims, and you know, that kid is one of them. A lot of the kids that commit crimes and violent crimes and shootings and whatnot, there's a disconnect from the people that they're doing it to. Usually they're driving by gangbanging, you see somebody, you get off the car, it's what it is, you light them up, and you go about your business. But you know, they don't watch the news, and you know, some of them do, but you know, I know when I did what I'm here for, I wasn't watching the news. I wasn't trying to watch the news. I didn't want to hear about it. I just wanted to just act like it didn't happen. You know, I wanted to disconnect from the entire situation. And that's not fair to the victims, but that's why crime is just getting so out of control, because there's a disconnect. These kids, all they're getting is praise for doing those things. You know, when I did what I did, suddenly I felt like I was getting the respect that I felt was owed to me. After I fell out, you know, from the gang and stuff like that, I felt a disconnect from that status and that power that I used to have. So when I did that, I felt like I had gained a piece of that back. So suddenly I was feeling on top of the...
You have 60 seconds remaining.
I wasn't paying attention to what I had done, you know, to that individual. So yeah, and that's just, Christmases are one of those things, man, that I took away from that family. So yeah, those are things that are, you know, that are on our mind. Those are things that me and Jesse talk about. All right, James, so we're pretty much almost wrapping this up. I can give another call back right now.
You know what?
You want to wrap this up right now?
Yeah, call me back one more time, because I want to, somebody's blessing you with you guys with something right now, and I want to go ahead and, you know, tell you guys right now. So call me back, and I'll tell you what it is. Okay. And
yep.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
I'll
Thank you. All right, Lifestyle Chronicle, you know, thank you. I'll go ahead and let them know that you're dropping $9.99 for each of them, and I'll go ahead and shoot that over them over today. I'm gonna send the whole 20 over to Jesse, because it'll be a lot easier like that, opposed to, you know, sending it to two different people. They are in the same cell, and they actually asked me to do it like that, to send it over to Jesse, just to keep it easier. So I'm gonna let them know as soon as they call back that you're blessing them with that, and I'm sure they'll definitely be excited.
This is Global
This call is now being
You have
recorded.
a prepaid call from
David Lopez.
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
All right, guys. Thank you for calling back. So yeah, this will definitely be the last call, because I'm pretty sure my wife's family is probably asking, you know, where am I at? How dare you show up here without without your husband? So yeah, so I definitely gotta make an appearance, because I'm looking bad right now. But
Me and my wife talked about that today. We just talked about that today. I swear. I know what my obligations are.
Yeah. So, and then I might end up hearing a comment like, "Hey, like you talk to them so much. Why don't you just go to prison with them? You know, you guys go hang out all day." So, yeah, definitely don't want to hear that. So,
hey, but thanks to the sacrifices though, bro, because it definitely means a lot, because you are taking this little time out of your New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve to spend this little time with us and give us this opportunity. So I appreciate that. You know what I mean? So you get to go home. You get to go right now and spend time with the in-laws and the family, and that's always a blessing. And that's just more motivation for us, because we look forward to have those. I would love to have your problems right now.
Man, yeah. No, thank you. But yeah, so but yeah, no, you know what? I like, and even before I would, before I started the podcast, I would with my boy right there, that's on the yard right there, he would call me a lot and we would talk a lot. So, and my wife would trip out on that, like, damn, like why do you talk so much? Why are you on the phone so much with him? Like, man, because I know what it's like to be, incarcerated, and wanting to talk to somebody that from the streets, because yeah, it's cool, you got people in there that you could relate with, but it's not the same, because like with me and him, I'm not expecting anything from him. I'm not trying to get anything out of him, and it goes the same way, like so. So I know these type of relationships are definitely important, and just jumping on the phone for these 2 hours, hopefully on your end you guys forgotten just for a few moments that you guys are not that you guys are in prison, like you're having like a real human interaction, even though if it's just over the phone.
Yeah, no, it's good, man.
And then Lifestyles Chronicles is actually blessing each of you guys with $9.99, so I'm gonna go ahead and shoot that over to Jesse, and so a total of $20, going your way. Maybe hopefully you guys could buy some chili lime sopas. I heard I heard there might be a drought right now. They might be drying up, so you definitely want to get as many chili lime sopas that you could get your hands on.
I want the sriracha. I got sriracha right now. This is sriracha drought. Hey, thank you. We want to say thank you very much, man.
And then
that means a world to us.
Let me read off the message that he put on here for you guys. So Lifestyle Chronicles, big shout out to Lifestyles. He put, Jesse, keep your head up and continue to help people around you. Those gifts will last a lifetime for someone who is struggling, 100%. And then he also puts for David, David, God bless and continue positivity. You're heading in the right direction. It's amazing what God does within our hearts once we accept him, 100%.
I appreciate that, and he's absolutely right. Yeah. And thank you very much, man. It's been a good Christmas spending this time with you guys.
Absolutely, Tom. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Good looking out on the little blessing, and it's always an honor to be able to share this space with you guys. And we know without him, without the man above, these opportunities wouldn't be possible, because when we give to our own will, we see what happens every time, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. And then as far as tomorrow, I'm not sure what your availability is. I'm not sure if you guys got any plans or any visits or whatnot. But if you guys are available, if you guys want to go ahead and run another one, we can definitely do that. And we could go ahead and touch on whatever message you guys will think will be important to anybody listening, and help them, stay on the positive track or turn over a new leaf and try something different, from what they're usually, their norm is.
Absolutely. You go 4 o'clock.
Yeah. I'll be at visit tomorrow, so definitely, anytime after 3. So I'm at 4, if anything, give me a little time to come back and decompress a little.
Yeah, 4 o'clock is the best time because, we're in the cell and it doesn't conflict with any of the programming and stuff like that. And even if we have day room, we want to spend some time out there with the fellas, because we're all in here together with each other, especially that it is Christmas Day. But we also love spending time with you guys, man, with the listeners, with you, James. Take us out of this place, and it's a good thing that you're doing.
Thank you.
4 o'clock sounds like the best. Yeah, 4 o'clock sounds like the best time.
Okay, and then for anybody that's listening right now, if you're just tuning in right now, we're actually taking live calls, so we're gonna be on for another like 5-10 minutes. Once this call ends, then that'll wrap it up for the evening. But if you have any questions and you don't want to type them up, you could always call in. The number is located in the chat all the way at the top, and it'll go ahead and connect us directly. And if for anything you're curious about, questions or comments, feel free to go ahead and pick up that phone call, and we're just a phone call away.
So right now, just in closing, I guess we could talk about what are we eating, Jess? What is this, man? I want to know after this phone call, Jess, what are we eating?
Oh, you're on your own with that.
Damn, I knew it, man. I thought that maybe if I said it on the podcast, that maybe
pressure me. This is the kind of peer pressure you guys are going to have to subject yourself to in prison. This man right here is peer pressure me into making something delicious to eat. As soon as you get to prison, they show you a video on reception that if the guy leaves a Snicker bar in your bed, do not take it because there's ulterior motives.
Yep, do not eat it.
But I ate so much crap today that literally I'll probably end up snacking on a handful of chips or something. But I'm not gonna. Tomorrow we got the thing. This is the crazy thing about it. So tomorrow we're making tostadas. So one of my good friends, he's been my friend for over 20 years. He's actually cooking for us. Usually I do most of the cooking around here because I trust my own cooking better than anybody else's. But he used to be my celly, so I know he can cook pretty well. So he basically volunteered himself to making tostadas, and ultimately it got up to making 40 tostadas. But it just so happened a couple of the other homies came by and were like, "Hey, what's up? What are you doing for Christmas?" Because they usually pay me to cook for them, and well, they don't really pay me. I get a free meal out of it because they come correct. They shoot all kinds of stuff, and so whatever I don't use, I just send back. But for the most part, you get a good meal out of it, And so they asked me, "You doing anything for Christmas?" And I told them, "Well, I'm going to be eating with the fellas."
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I technically don't have anything on my plate, and they're like, "Well, what's up? You want to cook?" And I'm already thinking in my head, "Well, I already have 4 tostadas coming." And I said, you know what, more likely these guys like me to make rice bowls or burritos or something else, So I told them, yeah, I'll cook for you guys. What's up? What do you want to do? And they're like, well, what's up? Let's make some tostadas. And I was like, man, I'm already eating tostadas. But I said, you know what, come on, let's do this. So the crazy thing about it is I forgot all about Christmas Day visiting. So I volunteered to cook for my celly to cook. Moral of that story is I volunteered to cook, and my celly's going to be stuck here holding the bag.
Yep. So yeah, no podcast before 4, James, because I'm going to be in here cooking apparently.
Hey,
but what we are going to do, I'm going to get everything. We're going to get as much of it ready tonight as possible.
Hold on, but I thought David didn't know how to cook. So how's that going to work out?
Exactly.
No, so let me tell you, David has redeemed himself over the last month. He's actually brought himself back out of the trenches. He's off of kitchen restriction. But he, like I said, we're gonna get everything prepared tonight, and basically all he has to do tomorrow is lay the beans on the tostadas, throw the carne on top, throw the pico de gallo on top, throw some shredded cheese, and a little this, a little bit of that, and get them on the tray and get them out.
Hey, did he tell you, James, why I was in the doghouse cooking? Did he tell you what I did?
Something with a fish, no? Something with fish.
It was something with fish, but see, in my mind, I thought that cheese melting over mackerel in a soup bowl, was just the most delicious thing. I don't know why, just because I wasn't used to having cheese like this. This
is why he's not getting a Christmas present.
Yeah, it was cheese. It was cheese slices, and I thought, damn, I just want to see this cheese melt over stuff. And since I was, I put mackerel in a soup, in one of them chili lime soups. I thought, man, this is going to be pretty good. Well, it wasn't good. And, yeah, it almost cost me my friendship with Jesse.
Wasn't good is an understatement. It was disgusting. but no, he's been watching me shake and bake in here for the last few months, and he's redeemed himself. I feel fully confident in leaving the reins, just based on the fact that I am notorious around here for being one of the, really in this building I'm the best chef. I don't know how people are cooking in any of the other buildings, but for the most part, people send food from the other buildings to have me cook, So I get down, but I wouldn't, given the fact that these guys approach to sell, I wouldn't leave the reins to David if I didn't think that he was capable of maintaining the notoriety of my restaurant,
And we just got a message from Eric for David. And he said, David, love you. Love you, bro. Merry Christmas.
Yep. Love my bro, man. Merry Christmas.
That's right.
My bro, man. Yep. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm gonna call after and see what the family are doing. It don't look like they're gonna run yard or anything. So, I told you, James, this is what Christmas looks like. Kick on back with the tablet. Find something to watch. Call the family. We can't do video calls from the cell. We could do video calls here, but we just can't do them from the cell. There's like these ports that we got to hook up our tablets with, and that's usually how we see the family for days like this. But they don't run program, no video calls. But we've come a long way, man. This ain't the Shawshank Redemption,
That's right. And then Lifestyle Chronicles put throw a little razzle dazzle on those tostadas, and then he put have a good night, fellas.
That's right. Thank you. Have a good night and have a blessed one.
I will, man. Thank you very much again, man. This gift means the world to us, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Stuff, man. We're going to put the razzle dazzle on with that blessing he gave us. Yep.
You just to buy something right now because you don't want to cook tonight. So.
Yeah, my Shelly's going to go out and buy some tamales from somebody else on the because I'm not cooking.
I'm going to take my $9.99 and go find something to eat.
Yeah. Hey, he's going to be acting. Hey, he's going to be acting with me tonight the way your hyena is going to be acting if you don't show up over there at the swing.
Yeah, I'm going to throw a little tantrum.
He's going to be giving me the side eye all night, every night.
Man.
You hear my stomach? You hear my stomach? It's growling. You want to be on the podcast with your friends all day? Well, I'm hungry.
Hey, hopefully she's not hearing.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, we're in the doghouse. That was Jesse that said all that, for the record.
Yeah, he said, now I'm about to get me a Stop Snitching shirt. Yeah. Threw me under the bus. Jason's hyena's going to come on the tablet and be like, both of you guys are dead.
Yeah, don't be cooking for me, Jesse. Yeah, Jesse did it.
Yeah, Jesse did it. I just want you to know that it was not my fault. Nah, that's cool though, man. Hey, I was going to ask you too, James, real quick, since we're just kind of spitballing right now, wrapping up the call.
Yeah.
Hey, so how does it make you feel, bro, to show up and pick your little girl up from school when I know she's coming out of being gone all day and sees her dad and shit. Like, how does it make you feel to be able to be there and see that part of your little girl's life? Like just to see that joy in her eyes and stuff.
Hey, it depends. Trip out. I'm gonna share something with you guys. All right. So there'll be sometimes like I've showed up maybe like 2 times. I normally pick her up, but there'll be sometimes that I think I'm not gonna be able to make it. So either my lady will tell her like that she's gonna pick her up, or she'll have her grandfather pick her up. Or my lady will tell her like, hey, your dad's not gonna come pick you up. So, and I'll show up for whatever reason, I'm able to make it, and then she'll look at me and she'll be mad. She'll be like, why are you here? And then I'll be like, well, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? She's like, you're not supposed to pick me up today. It's supposed to be on my mama or my grandpa. I was like, well, I'm here. And then she'll get mad. She'll start crying, and I'll be like, what's happening here? Like. So no, hey. So she's a stickler for stuff like that. So if you tell her something, you better follow through, because she has a really good memory. She's sharp. So we started.
How you really feel?
Yeah. So now what we started doing is like we if we don't know who's gonna show up, we be like, hey, like we don't know yet. We'll see, because if not, she's you better keep your word.
You have 60 seconds.
But other
remaining.
than that, when she knows I'm coming, man, she's happy and I'm happy, and then I'll start asking her questions like, hey, like how was your day? And she's like, I was playing. And then I'll be like, what else did you do? She's like, I told you already. I was playing already. And I'm like what? Like what? You don't want me to know questions? And she'll be like, no questions. I told you already. Or
how old is she?
She's 5.
4?
She's 5. She's 5. Yeah.
Oh man.
She's straight high power. She's on some high power stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
She's gonna run the yard.
Think about that. Think about that.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
When you don't show up when she thinks you are, and imagine how it affects kids when their dads are absent all the way around, the kind of disappointment and the lasting effect.
She got about 10 seconds, yes.
Yep. So, well, thanks for everybody for tuning in. Thanks a lot, James. You have a Merry Christmas, bro. Appreciate everything, man. Thanks for a little insight into your life,
Thank you to the listeners also, man. See you guys.
All right. So, hey, thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate the support. Shout out to all of you guys from Lifestyles Chronicles, M-Star Media, Mad Max 408, ICEMAN, Let me see. Make sure I definitely don't want to forget anybody. Let me see. Let me go through the chat here. August for tuning in. Really appreciate that. And oh yeah, I can't forget about LA Analyst. Made that super rare appearance. But with that, I really appreciate you guys, tuning in. Oh, and LastChanceHomie. Can't forget about LastChanceHomie. And with that being said, life's like a candle. Don't blow it, or it's lights out, or something like that. I still gotta hone in my my outro. Oh, hold on, they're calling back.
This
call is now being recorded.
You have a prepaid call from
David Lopez.
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hello, David. We're still on the live. I still haven't cut it yet.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I just wanted to touch base with you, man. Make sure everything's good and just continue on, man.
Okay,
so tell you that we're good, man, and thank you. We appreciate everything.
Well, I was still on. Like I know you didn't get a chance to say bye because Jesse was hogging up the last 20 seconds. But if you want to say bye, and then I'll cut it, and then we could talk off there.
No, we're good, man. Like I said, I just want to thank all the listeners, man. To everybody, thank you, friends, family, everybody that tuned in. And we'll be back tomorrow. And we're trying to make this a weekly thing. Sundays at 4. Tomorrow's gonna be a special Christmas treat.
There
the world.
Yeah.
We're just joking around, Yeah. So okay, James, but yeah, you could go ahead and cut the feed if you want.
Okay.
And then, just touch base with you.
Yeah, I'll cut it right now. All right, then, guys. You guys go ahead and have a good night, and we'll see each other tomorrow. And I'm about to pull the